a moment of suspense.
It always takes it a minute to kick on. And we're live.
Are we though? It
All
says we're
right.
off still.
My show's
That
online
says
for
we're-
me. It doesn't go officially online for some reason to like 30 minutes or 45 seconds after you've gone live. I don't know if
30
that's
minutes to 45 seconds is a very big time jump
30,
there.
30 to 45 seconds, excuse me, because of, I don't know why, stream elements or whatever. So that's their,
Yeah,
their
because
fun part.
it's 28 seconds in. It still says we're offline. Sweet.
There we go. I
Yeah, looks like it just popped
relogged.
in.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Well, we've done it. We've arrived at the weekend. For everybody jumping in here to join us, I'm pressed with to join. We got show number 18 prepped and ready to go. We got a great show for you guys this week. Obviously, Season of the Rivals and Destiny 2 has been a big thing that we've been playing. So we want to keep that train rolling here in episode 18. We're going to be talking AFK farming, good or bad, right? Get into maybe some heated debates on that, as well as talking about the Umbral patches, how, say, like AFK farming might have an effect on that. The Prophecy Dungeon, we're going to be talking about strategies, impressions, and more importantly, its removal at the end of the season. So definitely stay for that. We'll be talking console wars, some news from that this week, and kind of reflecting a couple more months into all this information coming about the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. Also curious what you guys think. And another core topic for today is going to be streaming elements, right? We're going to talk about OBS basics, right? In terms of settings, we're going to be talking different types of hardware recommendations, things like that. In particular, the new Elgato mic has caught our attention. We want to bring that up, talk about it, right? And talk about some of the software behind. But we got a great show in place for you guys tonight. I've got myself, Autonomy, on. We have GMD Geek.
What's up?
We've got Angle of Death.
Que pasa?
And I think we still have Unforsaken Jay.
Yeah, pretty much.
There we go. Guys, how's the week been? What have you guys been up to?
Work.
There we go. Any games, Geek? Any games? I heard you're only at like 1,000 in Destiny, something. Like that.
I did do some Minecraft dungeons with my kids.
Nice.
We did test out No Man's Sky between PC and Xbox.
Nice.
My son was very happy that we could play together now. And my daughter crashed the party on the other Xbox. We went retro and played a little of the old school Reckoning, even though there's the remaster coming out next month. But
Really?
mostly, yeah, if you Google it, it's called Re-Reckoning. Great game. Great game. And the intent behind that game, for those that don't know, originally they wanted to introduce it as a single-player game, but open it up after that release, and the next revision was going to be an online MMO to hopefully go, they wanted it to go toe-to-toe with World of Warcraft, and they succeeded in it. I think it would have done rather well. But the Red Sox guy, ex-baseball player, screwed up the loans and lost the company.
Kurt Schilling?
Hello,
Yeah, I'd say
sunshine.
so.
Yeah, but no, most of my time has been in Destiny. I just made season rank 87. My base light is 1053. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I really am enjoying it. So
Excellent. Jay, what have you been up to this week?
I actually started the third playthrough of Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Nice.
I'm currently building a PC as well. I stopped for the podcast. And I've been playing Destiny as
how
well, man.
gracious of you. I just want to say thank you very much for doing that for us.
Yeah, my base
Thank
light's
you. If I could bow, I would bow.
1049. Yeah, 1049 now.
You got somebody spying on that PC that you've been building in chat, appropriately so.
that would be Sunshine.
Huzzah. PC.
So I'll just give a quick shout out to Angle's
It
better
is.
half, much better half. Spark Hunter, Killer Bunny, and Sunshine, and anybody else that's in the chat. Greatly appreciate you guys stopping by.
Spark, you know I'm excited. Don't even tempt me yet.
Lock Moon.
Angle, what have you been up to, man? I know you've been playing Destiny 2. Anything else on the docket this week?
Got my power up to 1044, finally. Finally finished Fallen Order after having it for God knows how long. And as Jay has been coercing me for months to get on Phantasy Star, I started today.
Took long enough.
Excellent.
If only I could get Otto to play.
Hey, to get onto the game, it took me at least 30 minutes today. So that was a checkbox in the cons of Phantasy Star.
I did review I am using the tweaker load for it instead of the Microsoft launcher. So much faster.
Dude, I don't know what it is with their launcher for some reason, but I had to initialize an update within the launcher, which took 45 minutes. The entire first 2 missions and install of the game itself took me 10 minutes. How the content is shorter than the install is a mystery to me.
I don't know.
But we need to question Microsoft for that one.
Part of it, to my understanding, is because of they're going from US-based Microsoft servers to hosted servers in Japan. They're not here. This isn't the traditional everything resides in the US or a cloud that we're here. This is international cloud.
You can also kind of realize it when the game dialogue starts speaking in English, but you see their mouth still moving like an old-fashioned movie. It's great. It makes it so much better.
Pretty much. That's how it goes now.
Right on. Awesome, guys. Well, let's get right into things. Kind of taking us back one step here. We basically wrapped up show number 17, and then Destiny's next immediate crisis hit that weekend. I don't know about you guys, but last weekend my Twitter feed was ablaze with AFK farming, right? Obviously, it was happening last weekend, but there was this massive discussion almost kind of happening with and about AFK farming. So let's start there. Can anybody give a quick recap? What is or was AFK farming?
Otto.
Don't everybody jump at once.
Awkward silence.
All right,
Otto
so
will go here.
Okay, I'll do it. So AFK farming, for those that don't play Destiny, there's a thing called the Forge where you can go into it and people will take and put on their lowest level, light level gear to try to get under 700. And then they go queue into the Forge and leave their computer or the Xbox or PS4 on all night while they're sleeping or eating or cooking or even playing other games, because even if you don't win after 20 seconds or so, you'll lose, it'll reset, kick you out and queue you up to the next round. And then, hey Twisted, and then put you right back in, rinse and repeat. And while you don't get like the killer loot, you could get some planetary materials and some other stuff. And in this case, specific to Season of Arrivals, it was giving you umbrals and altered elements, which is the currency used to focus the umbrals in the extractor so you could get better gear. So people were just doing that, and all of a sudden they would go from, say, the cap of 1,000 light level.
Sorry, Geek, I gotta cut you off here. Could you put on gallery view? The guys were chatting. That is just basically my face, and I'm cracking up over here. So I need some help.
Hold on, I'm gonna share this.
Yes, block my face. Yes.
There we go. So, as a result, I don't know why it wasn't lighting up with mine. I got to figure that one out. Not that I want it on me anyways, but that'd be awkward. So
Otto was just like,
people
just
were
listening,
going overnight, going from 1,000 light to 1,040 to 1,050, all that other stuff. And then all of a sudden the community got really, really upset about it. So what Bungie did is Bungie tweeted out, how many days afterwards? 3?
Yeah, I think it was.
It was the Monday, right? Like the Monday that we came back from the weekend. The fix
so right after the
afternoon.
weekend, they posted about it.
So they said, we have implemented a change where players now return to orbit after completing the Forge activities. Players will need to re-enter the queue if they wish to enter the activity again. So, before I comment on this one, I love what Glad did, because Glad streamed it, because he was doing the Guardian Con fundraiser feed, the GCX Guardian Con 10 feed, and he streamed it for a while. Somebody brought it up. He wasn't aware of it, and he's like, well, I'll have to go check this out later. Because they went and ran some Forge, and they came across 1 or 2 AFK players during that stream. So later, he put on a wig and everything else, and a steel shot, and then went and just AFK farmed inside the Forge to test it out. So when Cosmo posted And people ripped him up inside his forums and everything. But Glad picks on himself, right? It's just how he is. He's like, I know.
Yeah.
I now only respond to the name Glad, the entitled scumbag hypocrite. Any other name is fake. Reddit has spoken. Please don't joke about this. This is a very serious change. Reddit has shown me that a sense of humor must not exist. He was just poking fun at the AFKers, you know. And it got to the point where, based after that happened, I went and opened up a poll on it. Where is it at?
We'll find it eventually. Stand by.
The Jotun toaster was.
Yep.
Which is going to be real
yeah.
now, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were trying to figure out, did it bother people? Did we not care? Just each other's own. So 35% of the people, it was 37. Not a huge polling, but give us a little bit of a number. Thought it was lame. It was like crap. About half of us thought it was, each their own, whatever they want. Okay, that's fine. And the rest of them just leave it alone. Don't break it. It's fine. Just let it go. Do the frozen thing. Let it be. Let it go. All that other stuff. But what resulted in that is they patched it. And the reason we followed it was Paul Tassi wrote an article on it and everything else, which we can go into if you guys want us to open it, but I don't think we need to. Then we started crying because Cosmo tweeted this out, which was... I don't know how well it was received. It did catch quite a bit of memes. It says, you cheated not only the game, but yourself. You didn't grow. You didn't improve. You took a shortcut and gained nothing. You experienced a hollow victory. Nothing was risked and nothing was gained. It's sad that you don't know the difference. So that was, Cosmo is clearly on the, it's pretty lame kind of thing.
Until you read his respond to the tweet right underneath it.
Right. For real, though, don't be mean to anyone taking advantage of our mistake. He said it's their mistake. So it's his opinion. He thought it was horrible. Didn't agree with it, but he knew and owned up to the fact it was their mistake.
Yeah.
And be nice to each other. Don't pick on one. Don't toss sand or anything. And I don't know if he was meaning that towards Glad or not, because I can't remember which one got posted. See, this was
because Gene, I'd say there was also this kind of passionate faction on Twitter too that was pretty against the AFK farming. I actually was
I saw a
Reddit
good portion
forums,
of people
man.
against it
right
on Twitter.
Yeah.
Now, I do have a fair point though. If you go the comment right under Cosmo's initial comment, I like what he said. Because that's I mean,
okay,
it's a fair point.
It's a fair point. I'm trying to stay neutral on this one. I ground everything out, okay, and then I went and tested out the AFK farm. I get it. There's people like we have a couple of guys in here that work 60 hours a week. They don't get a lot of gaming time, so they might be a little bit not be able to do all the grinding that everybody else is doing. So the ability to do the AFK farm thing kind of beneficial to them.
It helped out a lot, especially for me working 9.5 hours a day. I didn't get to do the drop of the content. I wasn't there for that. All the power grinding everybody was doing, I couldn't experience it because everybody else was home during quarantine. So the AFK farm for me was a good thing, even though I only got 1 day of it.
Well, see, I understand where you're coming from too for working that long. I do work about the same too. I was at work. I was talking to Geek about running it, and then when I got on, that's the first thing we did. Me, Twisted, and Geek just started running through it. And next thing we know, there's 3 characters later. I'm late to work the next day for staying up too
on
late.
the Zoom. Can you see if you can put gallery view in place?
I'm back on there. Sorry. There you go. I was reading Twisted's comment because he was referring to Cami Cakes. It helps me get my active playtime over to what I like, meaning what he wants to play. I don't like grinding power. I like grinding Grandmaster Nightmare Hunts. Again,
100% fair.
To me, this comes back to the question, to each their own. Every single one of us has different time, different play, and everything. But I do get where a lot of people on Twitter were coming from. All of a sudden, you had a lot of big streamers that just purported and just said, go do the AFK farm. They were doing that, and all of a sudden hopping in, where there are some people, and a lot of them were people on the consoles, where your controllers, you have to do some weird stuff with your Xbox controller, your PS5 controller, where you might have to put a rubber band on them, or make sure they're plugged in and go disable something so they don't shut off on you. So they were all just complaining, well, PC guys have it so much easier because they can just leave it on and go and all this other stuff. And I was just like, What?
Wait, hold
Yeah, it
on,
became
hold on.
pretty ridiculous. The whole honestly weekend. By the end, I was sick of my Twitter feed because of how contentious it
I
got.
muted a couple people.
That's a little bit confusing too, because when I did the AFK farm, I literally dropped my light level, went into the forge, and just turned my controller off, turned it off, and watched Netflix. I didn't have to do a damn thing to let it do
on
it.
your console.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't do it on my PC because it will keep me up at night.
I did go test AFK farming before the patch. I have tested it since the patch too, and I got some notes for Bungie. You can still exploit it. But on my Xbox One S, I have to use rubber band on the controller even if it's plugged in. On my Xbox One X, I can leave it on or just do whatever and it'll go. On my PS4, as a new light one, it would shut off. I would get maybe 30 minutes and bam.
Yeah.
Exactly, Twisted. I did write a macro and it worked just fine.
Yeah. But here's the thing, guys. So like, I guess I said on the like it's lame side of this, but not because I'm trying to pass shade, but I just honestly didn't care. Like I don't know. Like it didn't matter to me to do the AFK farming. You know what I mean? Like I was just playing the game. I don't know. And that's what it was.
You got to think about it in the content perspective. Who cares if people get to a higher light faster?
Right.
There's two activities where that really matters for player versus player. Where maybe, just maybe, the PvP side could get angry because banner and trials is light level enabled.
Right.
Yeah.
But
that first Iron Banner is going to be brutal for some people if they're super low and other people super high. But yeah, as a PvE player, like myself, I was like, I mean, I don't know. I'll catch up. Like even if I don't get to 1050 this week, like I'll be there next week. So it was like a week and a half.
See now, Killer, I like your comment, but in a way it is, but it isn't. In my opinion, they're making it more the grind, when in actuality it could be more like enjoying and mastering the content. Like I don't treat Destiny nearly as much as a grind for power level as I do as mastering the nightmare hunts, the nightfalls, the raids, dungeons, knowing the mechanics, getting everything down pat with repetition so I could just clear it like water.
Yeah, proficiency, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hey there, the immaturities. Welcome. Thanks for joining. To Killer's point and that side, again, we have to try to approach this neutrally with the mindset. There's a lot of people that like the Grandmaster. Not a ton of people, because you have to have a fire team for it. Raid teams, you have to have a fire team most of the time. You have to put that together. So a lot of people, if you look at the most popular activities and everything, went out and would do patrols or AFK farming. By the end of this, AFK farm was the number one activity on Bungie's site until they fixed it. But so you've got all these pieces. But my biggest thing is, okay, you're going to exploit it. Perfectly fine. To each their own play style. I don't care. End of the day, it's all the same gear, same everything else. I'm just here to have fun. Don't, though, however, complain to me 4 weeks into the into the season and say, I got nothing to do. Okay, you skipped ahead. Cliff notes, no problem. Perfectly fine. Don't complain about nothing to do because you skipped ahead. That's all I got to say.
The funny part about it is, even with the AFK farming that I did do and like the little bit of power level it gave me, I am loving the season so much. I could literally just sit and redo the dungeon a million times and be totally happy with this season. If all they ever gave us was the public event and the dungeon and the interference missions, I'd be fine.
Yep.
Solely based on how beautiful that thing is.
What's up, country?
I mean, maybe that's the big thing to take away here too, Angle, right? Like even though this is
said
maybe like an ugly weekend, right, for
Forge activities.
Destiny community, because I don't even know if it like like Bungie could have not had the AFK farm exist, but I don't know. Like it was hopefully something that we could just put in the past as a community and move on. And
yeah, so
because this isn't the first time we've done something like this either,
right?
Yeah, no. So I have up on the screen, I don't have it shared, but on the screen I have the statistics from day one, where the forges just cranked up and patrols were at 28% and forges were at 16% of the activities. I never realized that raids were so low. Only 9% at raid activity. Strikes were 6%. Nightfall is 3%. So 3% of the population is doing nightfalls.
Yeah.
Only 3%. So
that's amazing to me.
yeah. Yeah. That was really different kind of perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But
And
I'm with you, Geek, on what you said. Honestly, there has to be a point where, yeah, we may have grinded out this content for some, and yeah, others may have farmed it through the forge, but you can't come complain in 2 weeks that there's no events and nothing for you to do because you sat there and got your power level easily.
Yeah.
Because I know that these people will do it eventually anyway.
And not just the power level too, but the god rolls, right, on the weapons and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you right now, I'm going to be running Prophecy as much as I can because I want the full set of Moonfang armor for all 3 of my tunes, which it looks awesome on a Titan. It looks really good on the Hunter. Warlock one, if I don't get it, I'm not going to be devastated. But the Titan one looks really, really dope. Killer Bunny is going to roll a Titan just so he can get the Titan chest piece because it's got a bunny engraven on the chest plate. A bunny rabbit killer. A bunny rabbit, man. Are you listening to me? A bunny rabbit is on the chest piece.
We really need to talk to Bungie about the shoulder pads thing. They have an issue with making Titans look
Killer said what now?
Back in the
80s. Those shoulder pads are so big, there's like a handle on them.
Honestly, it's like, stop. We don't need it. Titans can look slimmer. It's okay. They can be beefy with power, just slimmer armor.
Yep.
That's why the Trials armor, in my opinion, is the nicest Titan armor set that you can
Killer, you're going to have to be a Titan main now, just for that chest plate.
The chest plate's dope sick, dude.
And I'm pretty sure the Hunter's helmet is based off bunny ears, too, because doesn't it have the 2 pieces that stick up?
Titans do.
I know the Titan one does.
Yeah, they're 2 like little, like kind of like antenna almost. They're thin, right?
Right out the side of the Hunter piece. Yeah. I love that armor. Personally, that is like my second favorite armor set in Destiny as of right now.
Nice.
Though, me being stupid, I normally, every time there's a new season, I go through collections and I look at what's new. I completely missed the fact that we got the Trials of the 9 armor with the dungeon as well. And I love Bungie for that because not only did they give us 4 of the better fan favorite weapons back, they gave us our own armor set for the dungeon. So we got some specific loot, and then we got back my old favorite armor set because the Hunter piece had spikes on it. So I could go back and get that armor because it's just beautiful.
Nice.
And there's a purpose to using the Trials of the 9 shader now.
I'm trying to find the I have the gear list from the dungeon.
Stand by, fellas.
You guys keep talking. Keep talking. I'll find it.
Jay, did you have any thoughts on the AFK weekend?
Man, like personally, if you want to do it by all means, but to me personally, I feel like that cuts down the experience that I'll have, because then I don't really need to run this activity, don't need to really run that one. I mean, it's just the way I see it. I mean, at the end of the day, people gonna do exactly what they want. So I mean, to me it didn't affect me because I didn't do it. I just grinded the light from 3 characters through.
Yeah. Now, Geek, before we get into the before we get too far into the dungeon armor, I did just want to ask, do you guys think that the patches that happened the day after with the focused Umbral engrams not decrypting at higher levels, maybe they took that component away? Do you think that was a result of AFK farming?
Well, to the point of that, man, it's not entirely not dropping at all like that. The first 3 you do encrypt at a higher power.
Correct.
Nice, and we've seen that actually from other mechanisms too, right?
Yes, that's still there though.
Too?
Yeah.
And didn't they also say now it's every 3, the third one is powerful?
Okay, so
has a chance.
However, if you upgrade the extractor on the second row, the very last one takes that, I believe, from 3 to 5. 5 umbrals per week.
That are free.
Free.
It's still only the first 3 that are powerful.
Got it.
So I mean,
Awesome.
in the end, I don't really think it hurt it. I think it's fine because by the time that you actually get to do it, it's really not going to make a difference because I'm just going after certain roles on certain weapons.
And to be brutally honest, I've been looking through my friends list. Most of the people are 1061, 1055, 1043. At this point, you shouldn't be too worried about light level.
When I've been doing the strikes lately, right? Because I've been doing a lot of bounties. The strikes, most of the time, I get paired up with people. If I'm not running with friends, I've been paired up with people in the 1040s ish. Now, when we went in and loaded in the other night to do some PvP with Vegeta, it was definitely noticeable. I think the people having the higher lights are the ones more looking at PvP kind of realm.
Now, you know what's funny? I have noticed the exact opposite.
Oh, really?
I've been in the strikes that I was doing, I was getting like one person near to my light and like an 860. But then I would go into PvP and I'd be playing, half the lobby would be like at least 40 light levels underneath the free to play max light level. I was getting 863s. I got one 620. I was like, it was weird. Everybody I was playing with,
they
was
don't
lower
start
level.
you at 750 unless you boost all the way up, Geek.
No, because Calvin made a brand new character.
Yeah, my buddy did too, and he still has to level regularly.
He started at 750.
No,
Calvin
didn't.
Oh, Calvin started at 750. I created his character. It was straight up 750.
Did you buy him the game?
No, he did
He's just playing the free to play.
I just ended up getting him the actual.
His is exactly the opposite.
Yeah, I just bought him the expansion and everything because he.
He didn't get the expansions. His is strictly just free.
Yeah, Calvin. Before I did any of the expansion, Calvin started a brand new character.
Was it Forsaken that had that boost, that like spark of light thing or whatever? Maybe that was.
But I ended up buying it. Was it? We talked about it last week, Jay. Right? Was it this week? It was either end of last week or beginning of this week. Calvin.
No, because if you remember, Idol started too, and he was at 243.
No, because I hadn't bought Calvin it. I can still go test it on my wife's account because she's got the new light one. I'll go test. I'm curious now. I'm very curious, but because Calvin, before I bought him his expansion. You know what it might be though? Here's what it might be. Is he might be a new light player, but it's my game that's loaded on the Xbox, which has all of the stuff in it. So maybe there's something in there.
The home max box.
That's very possible because I wouldn't be lying. I swear to God, ran into a 642. It was the weirdest thing in the world. What made it just that much worse is every competitive match.
Yeah, probably.
Every competitive match I went into,
open it.
I ran into a hacker.
Okay.
I have brought myself up to 2553 in competitive score. Every match was a hacker, either an aimbotter or a wall hacker, because I went through the playthroughs and the amount of cheating I saw, people not dying, shots not registering when they were clearly on people's heads. It was oh my God, PvP has been a nightmare for the past first week of the content dropping. I don't know what it is. Not even in comp too, just regular control. I had things just break, like game-breaking cheats. Didn't make any sense to me. It's never been this bad either.
Sparks is high, Calvin. No, Angle, I totally agree. So, Vegeta and Twisted managed to talk me into going to do some PvP, right?
Right.
We did. I think we did 7 matches. I think maybe 6. The first match before Twisted joined upon us, none of us are in the same clan. Right? We went in, had a great run, right? Had a lot of fun. I died, but I had significantly decent amount of kills. Vegeta cleaned up all this other stuff. A lot of fun. The next 4 after that, however, we know for a fact, aimbots, wall hacks, we had guys that were glitching all over the place. It was not fun. It was not fun at all. So people that aren't experienced with PvP trying to come into this, I don't see how they would manage to stick around because there's just no fun whatsoever. And then people that are really experienced on it and take it serious, they're going to get tired of it too. So I don't know. I'm hoping since the season's very stable, that Bungie takes this to be the season of the fix. And
what makes
really,
it even worse, dude, is I don't want to even go into trials right now. Like you know me, I am a diehard PvP. I am terrified to go into trials with how it is right now.
I'll go in on an Xbox or a PS4. I won't go in on a PC.
Nope, will not do it. That's the only way.
Yep, I'll have to go on an Xbox.
Wow. Yeah, that's rough.
It is what it is. New season, new glitch of something.
Indeed. But swinging it back to positive note, right? The prophecy dungeon is something we've been all, I think, able to sink our teeth into a little bit more. Let's talk first impressions. As you guys, I think most of you have cleared it. I know I'm like halfway through on my playthrough of it, but what are you guys' impressions of the dungeon having gotten to completion?
In my opinion, it is the most beautiful event I have ever played in Destiny, as a whole.
Nice.
The visuals alone make me want to just continue to do the dungeon. Like I know when I first initially cleared it, we went back in and did it 2 more times. Not even for the loot, just because it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it ranks over every dungeon I've played. It almost ranks over Last Wish, even though that's my second favorite raid.
Wow,
but since I can't play Vault of Glass in Destiny 2,
yeah.
it's like technically right now Last Wish is my favorite because I can't play Vault of Glass anymore until next year.
Can't play
until next year. But as of right now, it's ranking over Last Wish just solely based on how pretty it is and how much fun it is. Like Otto, please tell me you got to the sand dunes.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Gorgeous.
So German, one of my buddies, Holy Schmau, and I, we went in probably like 10:28, 10:30, and almost cleared the second encounter right after the dunes, or the third encounter technically. But yeah, the dunes were great. I mean, it's the atmosphere, the connections to like lore bits and story is awesome. I mean,
did you even see the emissaries?
No, not there yet.
He has to get to the second dune set.
Is it the second dune set?
Second one.
Yeah.
How many emissaries did you find, Geek? Apparently there's 12. We only found 6 on our run, but apparently there's a whole section of dialogue still that no one has, a couple people have found, but I have not found it yet. But there's 12 total emissaries.
We rode around everywhere.
Dude, so did we. I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. But apparently,
did you guys
12.
collect all the urns?
That we didn't do yet. We're not touching.
So they're not.
Yet,
so then they're not tied to the urns because I know I've collected like 4 or 5 of those. Okay.
Yeah, no, I've not collected a single urn, and we got 12.
Oh, we got 5. We got 5. Twisted, correct me. We're 5.
I don't know where they are, but I have to go find them because I want to hear more of the dialogue.
Yeah, it's got some great lore in there. They got some great hidden Easter egg stuff. I like the dungeon because it's gorgeous. It invokes to a degree fear of heights for the rainbow ride. Oh my gosh, that if you got a fear of heights, man, that'll trip you out because you're looking over the edge, you can't see it. They captured that feeling of being in the front row of a roller coaster.
Nice.
And you're like, I'm gonna hop down. I'm not gonna be in my on my Sparrow. I'm just gonna hop down and run it.
I did that halfway through.
But yeah, so now it's like, okay, I've got this down, and you gotta stick on the if you want to get the hidden chest. You can't take the shortcut by jumping down. You have to stay on the ribbon highway. And it's a highway to hell because if you're going super fast and you're not careful, crash. you're gone. You're going off the edge, you're going into limbo. It is done. You just fly. But I love it.
Nice.
I love the
I think
lore.
I need to do it on the micro mini.
You know, I watched CB do that.
Yeah.
He was having a rough time with it.
Now, for the people who did complete it, I know Jay, you and Geek both completed it. What was your favorite encounter?
Jay, have you done it?
No.
I could have swore you guys did it together.
No, he ran it with...
I've done it. Me, Twisted, and Nutton did it twice.
And then you ran it with Mesa.
And then we ran Mesa through it, which was fun.
Because I was going to run it with him, and then he said he was streaming with Mesa to run it. So
yeah, Mesa kicked it off. Moved us.
Nice.
That moved my stream up like an hour.
Yeah.
Twisted goes, don't do it on the micro. It wasn't fun.
Yeah.
But honestly, what was your favorite encounter?
The boss.
Geek's gonna have to answer that. Yeah,
the final
I
boss.
haven't played enough.
Twisted might have a different one. I love that you bounce back and forth, and once you figure out the mechanic, stand in the light, kill it. Stand in the light to get the light motes. Stand in the dark to get the dark motes. Be a little conservative on your ammo, but because you get to go in and try to kill the boss and then come out, I think what I'm at now is when we go in there is, can I get my team coordinated enough and working well enough together that we can go in one phase the dungeon boss? I think that's the funnest thing. I'm not worried about getting pounded to death by an overpowered, overzealous wizard or an overzealous
goblin,
ogre,
sniper.
or something from like in the pit. Pit's enjoyable, but the pit is like, I'm going to run it once and I'm like, okay, I don't want to run it again for another week. Prophecy?
I just wanted to keep running it.
I just keep running it, man. We can get it down. Once you get a crew that you're running through, you can probably do the prophecy in 30 to 40 minutes tops.
And I love the fact that they actually made the encounter rooms a giant cube for the boss and the second encounter. I just love the fact, because at first we were confused, because did you run it through with the whole video? Like, did you know what you were doing when you went in and did it the first time?
We had a nuttin' with us.
So did he watch the guide?
He just kind of walked us through it. But
yeah,
he had already
done it. We did it, no guide. No one had done it. We just went like fresh off the basics, and finding out the fact that in the second encounter, finding out that you're in a giant cube was probably the coolest part of it. Because I'm sitting here like, damn, we're going through a lot of different rooms. And then I look up and I'm like,
oh, dude, you know what? I like,
those rooms look familiar now.
Dude, I do have to say the labyrinth room, visually, that is probably the most amazing experience. Love the mechanic of the final boss, but the visuals and the movement and stuff inside of, what is that called? There's an illusion. There's a term for that visual illusion that they took from that.
I know what it is. I'll look it up while we're talking about it.
Kind of mirage or something.
Yeah, it's a visual. They did a really great play on that visual optical illusion, that painting that's been out there forever. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, man, I can't wait to take Jay through it. We're gonna take Jay through.
I'm not high enough light,
dude. What are you? 1044?
1040. You're perfect.
You're good. I did it at 1043.
1059.
Oh, and I kind of want to talk on that too, though, like about light level here a bit.
Hold on, Jay. As long as you have an anarchy, you're fine.
I don't have any anarchy.
Indeed.
You know what's funny though? I didn't even run it with anarchy.
What'd you run with?
Witherhoard and Wendigo, and I was melting him.
I did go in there with one of those. I did do a run with I want the catalyst for Witherhoard so bad.
I know.
Auto-loading holster. Oh, I got to go do a PvP then.
See, because what makes that catalyst amazing is the fact that I could shoot him once with Witherhoard, let the taking damage go, switch to Wendigo, let that kill him, go back to Witherhoard, shoot him again, Wendigo, and just keep swapping back and forth.
Killer, you're gonna have no offense, but you have to go run it, man. You need the bunny rabbit armor. It's not up for discussion.
One thing too. You remember how we were talking about loadouts?
Thanks, Twisted.
Mm-hmm.
Last week.
Geek, it's called the Penrose Staircase.
Ah, nice.
I started using a different one when we ran the 100K Nightfall, and I actually liked it, which was a sidearm. Sadly, recluse still. And anarchy.
That's my greatest problem. Buzzard?
Yeah.
Buzzard's a great sidearm, though. I can't blame you for that, because Buzzard has been a great sidearm.
Oh, overload on it is what I use.
See, I'm trying to stick to the guns that I know won't be leaving. My only problem is that doesn't include Wendigo. That keeps my auto rifle, because I was running Witherhoard, Reckless Oracle, and Wendigo. Wendigo's leaving. Witherhoard and Reckless aren't.
When did Wendigo come out again?
Wendigo. What season was that?
Otto, you're the pro here. Tell us when Wendigo came out.
Oh man, I don't know.
It
maybe like 4 seasons ago. It feels like.
So this is the staircase I was referring to, guys, from the movie Labyrinth, the Penrose Staircase that they took to the degree. This is what that encounter really feels like. It's great.
Season of Opulence, Jay.
No, I'll still be here for a while.
So one thing I saw too on Twitter, Brendan Thorne is one of Bungie's senior game designers that works on the dungeons a lot. In a kind of thread with Pyro Gaming, he kind of like summarizes the difference in the vibes between the 3 dungeons. For Shattered Thrones, he called it Dark Souls and Destiny. For Pit, he called it D&D Dungeon Crawl. And for Prophecy, it was Trippy Raid like. I like those descriptions of the kind of comparisons between the dungeon content.
So I'm curious for chat, for those that have done both Prophecy and Pit, which one do you find more enjoyable? I know for me it's Prophecy, hands down.
Well, you got to think about it. Technically, those aren't the only 2 dungeons.
Those only 2 that I'm referring to because they're the latest ones. There's
Yes.
You got the Shattered Throne, which most people won't do because they can't get a group to go do it. Because it's no one wants to go do it anymore.
There's also not much incentive outside of maybe doing it Wish Ender, but one of the things I found too is with my girlfriend and one of my buddies, a New Light player, like they didn't really know what Shattered Throne was, right? Like I actually think this is going to be in my pro column for the dungeon retirement talk coming up here shortly. That they can maybe bring back dungeons like Shattered Throne in better ways for New Light players to actually have incentive to go to it, rather than being like basically carried by somebody else that's done it before. It's like, oh, this is awesome.
To this day, I'll take Prophecy over Pit any day of the week.
Hands down.
Though I'm kind of mad that you don't get Masterwork loot. That's the only thing that Pit has over Prophecy, because I can farm the enhancement prisms and enhancement cores from Prophecy as to where Pit as to where Prophecy just has the better loot, and it's a far more fun experience.
Yeah, I don't really the enhancement cores. That's not enough to make it. What I really like. Okay, so Pit. Once you run the Pit, you're done. There's no incentive to go back. Like run it once on each one of your tunes in a week, and there's really no incentive unless you really want to go help people, which is fine too. I'm learning to do that more and more, but you're not going to get any more gear. At least with Prophecy, except for the hidden chests, you will get the same gear. Now it's going to, like, if you had a helmet drop on your first run through, every run you do for that week is going to be a helmet, but it's different stats on that helmet. So you can actually farm up the stats that you want on that helmet. And then you can also get infusion stuff, and you can get more shards, you can do all that other stuff. So it's really, I think, incentive wise, they gave you a something to go after. Because then you can go after the god rolls, not only on the armor, but you have a chance on all the bosses for the weapons.
Especially because those are the only ways you can get those new weapons as well.
Correct.
Because I know you can get, obviously, things like Death Adder and the refurbished guns. Mm-hmm. You can get them from other sources, but none of the Ikelos stuff, the V2, well, now they call it the V2, you can't get that anywhere else. And that hand cannon is my pride and joy. So,
yeah. What's up, Mr. CB Gray? Thanks for crashing the party, man.
Yo.
You missed it. We were talking about you and your mini Sparrow on the Rainbow Highway to Hell there.
I did get to see that.
That was pretty awesome last night. You had a couple clutch saves, but yeah.
And then he got sniped.
No, he fell off.
No, I'm saying he got sniped as well.
Yeah, he got sniped at one point. So I like the loot system. How many times have you gone in Angle?
I want to say 4 or 5.
On a different tune or the same one?
Same tune.
Okay. I haven't gotten any Ikelos gear yet.
Fun.
I'm looking
I got the hand cannon. Out of all the loot I got the Trials of the Nine helmet, the boots for the Moonfang armor, 3 hand cannons, the Ikelos hand cannons, Death Adder, and the new sword. Well, new but old sword.
I haven't gotten the swords yet. I haven't got any Ikelos. I've got 3 different Death Adders. I've got the Moonfang helmet and the Moonfang legs.
I wanted the helmet.
And then I have what was the armor? That other armor set? What Trials set was that?
Trials of the Nine.
Yeah, so I have
way back when.
Yeah, that was.
I now have the chest and shoulders for Trials of the Nine.
On what tunes?
My Titans, my Titan, and my Hunter.
Oh, so you have the shoulder pieces for the Hunter?
Uh-huh.
That is my favorite armor Hunter piece.
Yeah.
That is my favorite one, solely based on the spiky bits.
I do not have the Micro Mini, by the way.
It's the Mini Cooper.
I know. I never got it. I have the Brimstick, though. I think the Brimstick might be probably pretty freaking good on that rainbow.
That's true, because to me, the broomstick has always been the most agile sparrow. Like the easiest to maneuver too.
What I love is this is the second time now that they have done something in the game where they're taking advantage of the sparrow. We've got Scourge of the Past, ride your heart out, throw each other into the wall, hit the button, see who can get there, survive.
Yep.
And now you got this one here. Who can stay on the road?
Well, what's funny, it went from
and Jay's not allowed to drive tonight, so that rules him out.
It's funny because they keep upping the difficulty on the sparrow driving.
My speeder does not require keys. I'm good.
Okay.
It's great though because you got the raid, which is like medium difficulty.
Yeah.
Then you have prophecy, which is expert level.
Right.
There's no easy tier anything with sparrow maneuverability.
Well, okay, you can get on the sparrow and you can just kind of float down the path. Not a problem. But that's self-defeating. You got to hit the button.
You got to hit the boost. If it's no fun, if it's no boost.
But I'm not going to lie either. After I do my first weekly run, I'm jumping down. I'm not taking it messes with my dude. I'm glad I didn't have the fear of heights like my kid brother did. I mean, that would if my kid brother's watching this grown up, he had a nasty fear of heights. I'm talking really, really bad. I think this would freak him out a little bit. So
that encounter alone made it worth it to play because I went into the dungeon completely nose blind. I didn't watch any of the guides. I didn't see any of the gameplay. We had no idea going on to what we were doing and just had to learn it kind of the entire way through with like minimal help from a guide because that room with Tolan trying to figure out what circle to go to, the first 2 clears we did, he kept going to the roof, which means you had to go somewhere else and then go to his section. We had no idea about that, so we just kind of searched those portions up.
Yeah.
But oh my God, the first look at standing over the cliff. The greatest part is my fire team, I got there first. I knew there was a dip because I went slowly because I saw wide open space. My team didn't. They both ran past me in sparrows, and we're like, oh no, wait a minute. Fell right.
There's no stairs, sorry.
Yeah, they're like, where'd the ground go?
Yeah, Dreamy, there ain't no stairs. Well, actually, when it opens the door, then you're running up to one of the areas. There are some stairs technically in the dungeon, but they had nothing to do with what you're about to do.
No, there's actually, I think that part of the dungeon too, the Rainbow Road section, there's actually a really, really tiny staircase, and then it just drops.
She's gonna take this tiny staircase and just fall.
It's like Garden with the 2 portals that launch you. It's like, oh, it's a trick.
Right.
You see stairs, you're like,
Yeah,
oh, I'll
trolling.
just walk. Wait a minute.
They see me trolling.
Right.
Cue the sad trombone noise.
Meteor says, I am going to take the tiny stairs.
That's the most fun part about it.
What did you guys think of the difficulty of the dungeon 2 for the first couple weeks?
Well, under light, it was entertaining to say the least.
But it was still doable, right? Because I think what I'm trying to get at here too is like
doable.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is like there used to be a time in Destiny where you wouldn't go into stuff underleveled. But like I'm coming around to the idea that it is okay to do an activity 20 or 30 light levels below it. I don't have to approach that as a straight up suicide mission. Now, obviously, I didn't complete prophecy.
Back.
And me, what I'm trying to say is like, is that a good thing though? Like, I what do you guys think? Like, is it bad to have hard content?
I see. No, I'm okay with it.
I like the challenge.
It gave you something to work for. So when you actually get something out of it.
Yeah. But when the AFK farm went away, I was still under light for the dungeon.
Yeah, see, like,
so it made wanting to get to that light level so much more because I wanted to finish that dungeon run.
I would say if Jay and Twisted Eye, because we went in there in day 1, had we gone in at, say,
when it launched
at 10:20, had we gone in, I think we would have stayed in there to figure out the first encounter instead of just like, okay, we did 3 or 4 rounds, got obliterated.
Like when we started that encounter for that boss, instant dead.
Yeah. But had we been with like 120 to put us in that next bracket, I could have seen us fighting to go.
Well, like I was saying, like German and I jumped in. I think German was like 10:28. I was 10:31, and we almost cleared that second encounter. If it wasn't for like me having to get off like at a certain time at that night, like we could have beaten the shifting room encounter, right? So we got through the first boss, the dunes, and everything kind of at that level, and that was fine, right? Obviously, we have to come back and beat it this weekend at a higher light level, but.
Fun little fact about the dunes, there's actually a cheat going on right now that lets you go into the dungeon without actually having to do any of the encounters and get the loot from the chest.
Wow.
I mean,
I saw launch yourself through the ceiling of the map.
Oh, what?
Yep. And then you kind of just fall down to the bottom, and then all of a sudden you're in the dunes. It's just, I like what Bungie did with the light level problem in that dungeon, because you notice the difference. You go in at 10:08, 10:10, like Jay, Geek, me, all of us did. We got slapped, and we knew we were getting slapped. We went in later that night, 10:20, 10:25. You feel the difference. Like, I know when we tried to do the boss encounter the first time, I was still 10:31, 10:32, and I was getting wiped the floor with. Like, he was just tearing me up. I go in at 10:44, I immediately noticed a difference. I could actually start fighting my ogres by myself.
Yeah.
Which is just, it's nice to make you work for something.
It also makes the power meaningful again in a way.
Yeah.
Like, because light level hasn't meant something in a long time, it feels like.
Yeah.
Besides getting into the big encounter in week 1 or for the first raid clear.
Also, I'm amazed that Bungie even released the new dungeon day 1.
We weren't expecting that.
Yeah,
either.
I think there's mixed feelings on that one. Could they have listened? You know, I know Twisted and I and Jay and CB and a few other people have had discussions on it. Could it have been a contest only mode? You know, day 1 contest kind of thing.
Yeah,
because
good point.
Did that dungeon coming out week 1? Had they not released the dungeon the first week or two, would we have had the AFK Umbral Farm? Was there a chain of events that led to all that? But we've already beat the dead horse on that one. What I do like is they brought back the sense of power based on light, and they introduced some weapons and refreshed the artifact so it's useful. The Weather Horde. My kids kept calling it that, Weatherford. So Weather Horde, fantastic new exotic. Bungie, do not touch it. Do not nerf it. Do not do anything to it. It is such a fun gun to play. Except for PvP, when you walk into an area and everyone's using it because they're working on the catalyst, and the ground is nothing but blight on the ground.
Yeah.
The new catalyst for Trinity Ghoul. Holy crap, man! That
catalyst. It really is.
I love Trinity Ghoul.
Spence, how you doing, man?
So, to be fair, Geek, the only thing they should fix on Wither Horde is the raid boss kill thing.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
That's not the gun. That's a mechanic impacting the boss. They can fix that on those specific bosses. Don't touch the gun. But yeah, so the swords, they made swords so much fun again. Give me Whirlwind. I'm going to go spinning all over the place, man. I'll charge in because I think Unit would probably play the same way. You know, he's gung-ho up in front and everything.
Yep, he's been doing that.
Spin that sucker around. Spin me. I mean, you could put on the song, You Spin Me Right Round, Baby, Right Round. I would do it all night long. It's so much fun. Otto saw that playstyle.
Geek's got a stream. He's got a stream just singing.
Not doing the truffle shuffle though. No.
Just gets a demark strike against him immediately. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, since you brought up the truffle shuffle.
No.
Thanks to Twisted.
Twisted, where's the link?
Geek stream.
Oh, please. We must promote.
Geek had told Twisted if we could raise $4,500, $4,500, he would do a 5-minute video of him doing a truffle shuffle.
Please donate. We are once again asking for your financial support.
Everybody screen
Sunshine, do a Geek's
face right now. There it is. Do a Geek.
We know Twisted's getting that right now.
He might not be able to post the link though, based on our permissions. We might have to do that.
Jay's got permissions, I think.
Hold that thought.
Let's see. I need to make.
No, speaking of swords, Geek. I like that you brought that up. Didn't they just release a thing saying that there's a new like fast boss DPS clear with the new guillotine sword? I could have swore I was watching something about it the other day, but that could just be Mandela effect on my own memory.
Jade, did you have you posted here? I'm gonna make sure you guys are set as moderators.
I just got like upgraded. I'm like, what are all these help prompts in my Twitch?
Yeah, I know Angle's in here. Angle, where did you go? There you are. Okay.
I am ninja.
All right. What did CB say? Let's see. I'm the only one who doesn't know what that is. What was the question? Truffle shuffle? Spence, you don't know what truffle shuffle is?
Oh, Geek, can you do a live performance, please?
Not happening. Not happening. Not happening.
There's your wonderful link.
Nice.
Yeah.
It will be happening.
So, I've done Spark. I did the Witherhoard, Fallen Guillotine, and the Adder. Great combination. And then I've done Mountaintop, Trinity Ghoul, and a Fallen Guillotine. And that loadout for me is a lot of fun. You don't have a really good load speed, but when I can get the Catalyst unlocked on the Witherhoard, that is going to be a game changer. Seriously.
Nice.
Spencer. Okay, hold
Now,
on.
Google it now.
In terms of mods, have you guys tried any of the Arrival mods that have been introduced, or have you guys adapted to any charge with light builds, anything like that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the charge with
I was using the sword with the loosened blade.
Nice.
I'm a stickler. I still won't do it.
What? Just trying it out, giving it a go.
When I tried the charge with light stuff when it first came out, I liked the concept. It just didn't fit my build.
Yeah.
Just the way I play Destiny, it just doesn't. I feel like it fits slower play than it does me.
Yeah.
Because I can't benefit from slow play. I'm a hunter. I'm running around. I'm like this all the time. Just
gotcha.
You see me running everywhere, so I can't sit and focus on like finishing an enemy and getting charged light and doing
here's
this.
Here's the truffle shuffle for you guys. This is the truffle shuffle. Thank you. Keep going, Otto.
Sorry, Geek. I didn't see you doing it, man. I didn't think you had it up.
Yeah, he's got it up.
No. I was trying to get him to do it.
Nope.
So I was looking for the name of the mod in particular that I've been trying to create some builds around, but it's that one. It's like the energy converter, where essentially like you get stacks of light and then you throw your grenade and you can get super back. So I've been playing around with, especially on the Titan, the Ursa's middle tree builds, or Geek and I were talking about this, right? Armentarium middle trees, things like that you just are getting your super, are be able to essentially like chain those charge of lights with grenade throws. And
you put the charge of light mod on you, so like you pick up orbs and everything that does it. And then there's a perk on the swords that if you're guarding, it can also help you get your super back.
Nice.
And that's what I have on my Fallen Guillotine, that in Whirlwind. And yeah, I love it. I love it. I love what they've done.
Country Henry says Goonies.
Yep. Goonies never say die. And in this case, this Goonie says never truffle shuffle.
But y'all can make it happen.
No.
Oh, man. Awesome.
It's gonna happen, Geek.
Yeah. To clarify that, we were making jokes, and I was, well, yeah, if you give me the $4,500 so I could buy a AMD 3990X, then I would do it. We did talk about it. We were just joking around. I said, if it does happen, we're going to donate all $4,500 and the video to the Bungie Foundation because they've been knocking it out, man. The Bungie Foundation's been raising money for COVID, for feeding America, for fighting the BLM and everything else like that.
Yep.
So
Black Lives Matter. Yeah.
Yep.
We got that pin going on sale 23rd.
Yep.
Yeah.
Twisted said that Goonie is about to eat those words.
Last time I checked, it was at $10. So I'm feeling pretty safe, man.
I'll have to go in and donate.
Yeah, St. Jude's was the last.
How much did those PC parts cost, Geek? That's what I'll donate. There you go.
Oh
no. Oh, that's fine. That's perfect. That's fine because that's not even a fourth of the cost. We're good.
No. There you go.
So. But yeah,
so
I'm loving the mods.
Yeah. No, indeed. Do we want to get into the dungeon expiration date debate?
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna go with Angle first.
I hate
about
it.
No,
And to
hey,
clarify,
look, let me finish
clarify for
the
chat,
statement,
what are we
bro.
talking about?
All right, so
Matter it.
here's the thing: they said the dungeon disappears at the end of the season, right?
Mhm.
We've heard it, and so now we understand that. Hey, this season comes, it disappears. We don't know what comes in its place, if anything, possibly yet. 10-4 hat hour now. So how do we know an equally good dungeon doesn't come in right behind it and refresh other weapons that you would like to see back from other planets that we heard that disappeared?
True. Fair point. But I wager this. If you are taking my dungeon, why the hell are you not taking Shattered Throne away? They're leaving
I've got
the
an
dream
answer.
I got an
I do
answer
have an
too.
answer though. So it is called free to play, right? The Prophecy Dungeon is technically branded as free to play content. This week I was able to kind of go back and listen to like Luke Smith's Dr. Lupo interview, and he kind of outlined how content is going to shift from like full paid to free to play, and then free to play is kind of what goes into the vault in the end.
This is my forever point with that disappearing. Yes, I get that they want to do the content recycling, and yes, there's a chance there could be an equally as good dungeon with good loot that comes with it. But in the same retrospect, there's a lot of people aren't going to be able to complete it, especially with the AFK farming gone.
Right.
The force farming's out of the question. There is a section of casual players that might take them 30 to 40 days to get to that 1040, 1050 light level, because they can only play an hour to 2 hours maybe every 3 days. So they won't really get to experience the dungeon in its fullest like we do, because we sit and grind Destiny.
Right.
They don't have that shared time that we do.
To comment on that one, if you go read the forums on it, and they did some clarification on it, it's here for one season, and then it's going to be pulled out for a season because they have to do a couple things to it to make it more modular in code so it can be lifted and shifted easier. Referring to the fact right now, if you go through those beautiful, amazing sand dunes, you see that those are referencing planets that are going away. If you leave those in, what happens the next season when they rotate other content out and new content in? They need to repurpose it so they can make it that, so you can still do that. Is that going to impact the loot? Is that going to impact the mechanics? I have no idea. But they did say it's only going to be gone for about a season and then they'll bring it back, which is perfectly fine for me because they're choosing a great time to do it, because September is going to get freaking chaotic.
It
is. It really is.
I'm just thinking everything they're bringing that they've hinted at bringing, they've teased us amazingly well. They put a carrot on the end of the stick, and I'm all in because it looks freaking amazing. And this season has been fantastic so far. We're 2 weeks in. I'm not bored yet. I'm having a blast. I haven't done everything, experienced everything, gotten everything. I'm still going, and I've done a lot of grinding. So I'm really excited for that. I can't wait to see what they do in September. Because it's going to be in there, and
especially with a whole new planet.
Yeah, I'm so glad that they pushed Cyberpunk 2077 back, because
that gives me time. I can breathe.
Yeah.
So, but Angle, just to stick to the topic, to any other points why it shouldn't go away though? What else you got right on that side of the debate?
Now, I will go for a split second. I will go pro it leaving.
No.
Solely based on Twisted.
I want to go pro it leaving next. Yeah, you got to be on the other side.
Well, I like what Twisted said. He said, I feel like Prophecy will always be retrofit to be exactly what it's meant to be, a prophecy of what's coming. Yeah. I would like it if they kept changing Prophecy's dungeon to the planets that are leaving during that next coming season. To me, that would make it just that much more of the greatest dungeon we've gotten. Because as it sits, it is the greatest dungeon I've played in Destiny. It beats some raids as well. I would do Prophecy over Scourge based on loot, how much fun it is to play, and how beautiful it looks.
Well, I can get 2 Prophecy runs in the amount of time it takes me to do a pit run.
Exactly.
And I have more fun.
100% more fun. And you want to do 2 Prophecy runs, and that's where that difference comes into play. So yes, I get that it has to leave because of code. I will forever be sad about it because I'm going to want to play it next season anyway.
But with everything that's coming.
And I'm still not getting, I still don't have the Icolo sniper since it is solely based on that week's run.
Yeah.
I only am getting the hand cannon. So it's going to take me some time to farm the god rolls. That's another con I have against it leaving, is a lot of those people won't get to experience some of those guns next season, and those guns might become meta. Who knows? 180s could become the new gun meta for next season, and
Right.
Ikelos hand cannon could be that main gun. Granted, some of us will already have those.
But I'll play the other side of that one. I like that. Okay, you're going to if they're going to rotate stuff in and out. Okay, this comes kind of like I'll go to Legend of Acreus exotic shotgun. I love the fact that you had to go into the raid, you had to do all this stuff inside the raid to get it, and if they bring it and put it into a regular quest that you can do some other way, I'll be a little bad, a little upset or a little saddened by that because I like the idea. Everyone knows what the free stuff is. They know what the schedule is going to be. Okay, this is getting rotated in or rotated out. It'll be back in, say, 6 months or something. Okay, you've got a chance because once they get the stuff rotating and the mechanic worked out, it's going to come back. So all of a sudden, it gives you, hey, this is coming back. I need to plan to go do this. While this is here, I need to go get this, this, and this. So it gives you something to really focus on. So if you're a new player, not only a new light player, but if you're somebody that's brand new to Destiny, you're not getting overwhelmed with all this stuff to do. And when they do introduce a new content or bring back old content, you have something to go do instead of, oh, it's automatically out there for you to have no matter what. So I see both sides of that one. I'm hoping that they find a middle ground because I think it'd be really good when they bring back the old content, the people have something to go do. Not everyone out there is like us that are gung-ho. I'm going to go get all the stuff I can possibly get, collect and everything else. I don't go after like the seals. I've gotten one seal. I don't really care for that. But I've been trying to collect all the exotics. I have to go
7.
I have
Come
to
on,
go
slackers.
I have to go do
I don't have any anarchy, but I got
crown.
seals.
Yeah,
I have
but
to go
we all have
beg.
anarchy.
Geek, I'm with you on that. I still do not have terrible yet.
Oh, I got to go run crown till I get
Terrible.
it. Oh, but you know.
So yeah, I mean, I'm with you, and they got to bring it back, right? First of all, and they got to bring it back in a meaningful way too, right? If they start just changing content that we love and like it's gone, it's one thing. But being at the beginning of the season, I'm definitely on that side where I think in the end, this isn't an issue, and I hope it's not an issue in the end, is what I'm ultimately trying to say. But Geek, I really liked your point of like bringing the piece of content back in a more relevant way. And something I mentioned earlier, right? One thing I noticed with my girlfriend playing and then a new light player I play with quite a bit, they didn't get what a dungeon really was, right? Like if they're not part of the Destiny like zeitgeist and you're in it and this is the content that you're dying for, right? Like it's just a thing. And if you're playing Shattered Throne 9 months later, a year later, it's not relevant to you, right? It's just hard content, but you're still trying to like level up and catch up. And like I had them complete Shattered Throne and be like, what was the point? We got like a 750 piece of gear, you know what I mean? And that I think they can avoid if they bring back the content, and then in the vault there's something that lets that be at least a powerful drop, or they're bringing better loot, or the loot's there and they can get it from that, and they highlight it the right way.
Yeah, but I think if they do it right too, by bringing in new content, they can introduce new weapons. They introduced some new weapons this season that are phenomenal. If they can keep that track record up into the next season, I'm not going to have to go worry about trying to go get those now and having them dropped it into the loot pool. There's other stuff I can go do. Ebontis, what's up?
What's
Welcome,
up, Ebontis?
What's up, Ebontis?
I got to give him a shout out, fellow Texan man. I still got to try his cheesecake. Can we just talk about
how beautiful
I just want to know if
you
actually make a better cheesecake than I do.
Well, now that I know you make good cheesecake, Jay, you have to send me one.
Cheesecake does not ship well.
It does not.
Refrigerate and then send it.
Brisket. Yeah, see, I'm doing brisket, and he's doing a cheesecake, and Ebontis and I are going to exchange because he doesn't live far from here. We're going to exchange.
Actually,
because I hear he makes a wicked good cheesecake.
Jay, this is what we do when we have our meetup.
Oh yeah,
you have to make a cheesecake.
How many?
Depends on how good this cheesecake is.
Well,
I think that is a yes. He said how many, so it's.
So for those,
the answer is always yes to how many.
So for those that don't know, something we've talked about.
You said 20.
20. She'll take a stack of 20. She's a hobbit. She wants
so you want 20 by yourself, right?
Yeah. So
is that what I'm hearing?
For those that don't know, after we were planning to get together for Guardian Con this year, everyone meeting up and everything. But after all this stuff with COVID and all the craziness that's gone on, after the world has settled down, I was going to have everyone in the podcast crew come out to Texas where I live, and I was going to do a backyard barbecue and everything. Apparently, I'm going to have to invite the man that makes cheesecake here, Bontis, to have a throwdown with Jay.
You got to bring Twisted now so you guys can have a barbecue throwdown.
Well, he's Canadian.
Ooh.
So okay, no, okay. If Twisted comes, if Twisted can make it down, or Spence, you guys got to bring ketchup Doritos.
So Meteor says, "Is that really a question?" Of course, they are all for me.
So much food talk.
Ooh, lemon raspberry. I'll try
followed by
lemon raspberry, man.
See you, Spence.
Lemon raspberry.
Bye, Spence.
By far.
Yvonne, you're speaking my language, and the answer is always both.
Dude, I've yeah. CB, you're welcome to come out, man. Yeah, it's both indeed. So I figure it's gonna be. Last time I did a cookout like this, we had, because I have a lot of smokers. I got 7 smokers and 2 grills. I think we had like 20 or 30 people, and we did like 6 briquettes. Now I'm talking like Ebontis. 6 briskets.
You're just getting too excited with food.
Yeah, we did 6 briskets, 6 pork shoulders, like 12 racks of ribs, and then just a bunch. We did a smoked chocolate, a smoked pecan pie cheesecake with a chocolate drizzle on it, which is really, really good, by the way. So
don't worry, you guys take care of the barbecue and the cheesecake. I'll bring you guys some real pizza.
I've had real pizza, but I've been overseas.
We've all of a sudden switched from Destiny. Is this like the Destiny 2 Cook Showdown? Do we need to
gained 2 viewers during this time?
Well, I mean, look, because I sent CB a DM of a cheesecake I made.
Oh no!
Why did I not receive this? Actually, don't do that. Don't tell me.
So is this like the podcast coming for us? Like we need to eat before we go to the grocery store? Do we need to eat before we podcast? Is that what you guys are saying here?
This could be a plan
said
here.
Can confirm.
This could be a plan here. We could stream a podcast that week. Actually, in person for once.
Well, that's the thing. I've got enough wireless cameras. I could rig up the backyard, and we could just have fun out there. And then we could do a LAN party. For those of you that are old enough to know what that is, just everyone brings their PC or something with them, and we just set up in a living room and we game. I've got enough dive tables from all the scuba dive stuff. We could just set up a bunch of tables, and we can go have fun.
If I brought my computer on an airplane, they might think it's a bomb.
I would shoot you if you brought your computer on an airplane. Get a laptop. Or I actually have 3 PCs here.
Dang, it doesn't sound like this travel trip's going well for you, man. You're gonna get hit at the airport and when you get here.
Can I come over?
Anytime.
Man, that's great.
Anytime.
18 and older, Spence.
I'm laying odds 9-1, Jay, that I'm pretty sure Dreamy would show up. I'm not sure if Sunshine.
9-1.
Yeah,
I can bet 10-0 that Dreamy will show up.
So. Anyways, let's go back to talking about Destiny. So I'm enjoying the dungeon. I'm enjoying the mods. One of my favorite mods so far is one of the biggest complaints I've had so far is when they introduced the artifact, they didn't do anything to the exotic weapons to make them worthwhile. All of a sudden, I had these artifact things: anti-barrier, unstoppable, all that stuff. I couldn't use any of my exotics to do anything to assist. Now that they've introduced a pulse rifle mod for unstoppable, all of a sudden you've seen, and they buffed the pulse rifle some, you have seen a reemergence of Graviton Lance, Outbreak Perfected, and Bad Juju. I find myself using Graviton Lance a lot. Outbreak Perfected, situational, and I know Jay likes Bad Juju more out of the 3. I'm not using Bad Juju that much, but
I used to use Graviton all the time.
Yeah, I would hope that going forward they find ways to do that same effect for other exotic weapons to make them more relevant for each season. And I also like that the mods are the artifact mods are applicable.
I'm gonna cut you right there really quick.
More weapon types.
Meteor says, "May I ask a little more about the artifacts?" We could talk about it now if you'd like to. What would you like to know about said artifact or opinions on it?
I mean, if I'm going to talk just off the cuff while you type your question in, Dreamy, like ultimately, right, like in the first stages of the artifact, load up on the mods for the guns that you like. I would say entirely skip the third row. I wouldn't worry about the glimmer ones myself. What you do is you stack up on the stuff that you like or the weapon style that you like to help with things like the Nightfall ordeals. Skip that third row, and then that fourth row in particular, you start to right. Well, that's the fifth one, right? And absolutely. So, right, like the highlight here is there is one in the fifth row called Oppressive Darkness, which is going to do a debuff from your Void Grenades. That's the one I'd say, like a lot of us, especially as Titans, we like to look at. But
what do you mean, especially as hunters? We have the Void Ball Grenade that literally sits there for
Sorry,
like.
I've never played the weakest class except for raid stuff. So
me in the Crucible. That's all. I'm gonna leave it at me in the Crucible.
Yeah, boys, Titans is the pinnacle of evolution as far as Guardians goes.
Oof, right, Twisted. Oof. Can I get an F in chat?
Oh, and Twisted also calling out Breach Resonator
as well is a good one. I like that it wasn't based on one damage type for once. Yeah. That and one weapon type as well. Because you remember it used to be barrier, just it would be like sidearms only.
Yep.
And it would be the world's most annoying thing. And they brought back the two best barrier weapons. Well, that and they brought back the two best barrier weapons and one of the greatest void perks.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Oppressive Darkness was the first artifact.
Yes. Yep.
Right? Yep. It was the first artifact, which was the one that everybody loved.
And then they kind of went after
exactly. That. But this artifact, I would say, brought back the usefulness to the artifact.
Yeah.
Solely
and introduced new usefulness, as Geeks point out, right?
The buff to the exotics, Oppressive Darkness.
So what that tells me is Bungie's actually listening to feedback. Which is a good thing. I think it's great. I love the fact that they made that just so much more. They brought back weapons. They made swords fun. Things that haven't been relevant. The next thing I would like to see next season, not this season, go fix cheaters. Get the cheater crap taken care of.
Please.
Next season, I would like to see something done with some rocket launcher loving.
Oh, man, yeah, right?
So
I would too.
Give me back my rocket launcher that just made a giant red orb that sat there for 20 minutes.
Yeah, but Bungie, please do this. Do not bring back Gallahorn. That is a D1 classic. It is the pinnacle of all weapons everyone ever wanted. Leave it be. Let it put him on the wall. Let it be. Don't bring it back.
You know, Twisted, I can agree with you on that with the 110 hand cannons.
Yeah.
Oh, then you're going to hate my comment.
I love hand cannons in D1. They were a lot of fun. I haven't really enjoyed them too much in D2. I like Ace of Spades, but I haven't been able to. Sorry, Twisted. We don't trash.
Oh, correct.
Do you guys want me to just drop Angle now?
Kick him from the.
I deleted his message.
Nice.
Oh, well played. Well played.
Much love, Angle. Much love.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Okay. But no, I think it's great. No, I'd like to see more of what they did to make pulse rivals exotics relevant.
His message disappeared. Awesome.
Let's see, because now you've got artifacts to go in to the pulse rifle. You can't apply those to the. Could you imagine if they were able to last season do that? And as much as I hate them, but can you imagine if they made that available? So sidearms on an exotic, everyone would sport in the Rat King again.
You right. I would be running Rat King.
Could you imagine doing prophecy with that and 3 people?
Geek, like King? 3 weeks ago, you told me how much you hated sidearms and how much you hated the artifacts and the season for the sidearms.
But the Rat King is a different story.
It's Rat King.
I love the Rat King because it's a team thing.
Yeah.
That is a whole different mechanic. You get you and your buddies, 3-man team, 4-man team in PvP. We tested in PvP, by the way. A 4-man squad with Rat King will light somebody up.
Yeah, because we ran a 6-man squad on Xbox with Rat King, and oh my god!
And then we went and farmed the crap out of Menagerie and out of the Castellium with our Rat Kings. Oh, it was so fun.
Is Rat King relevant for Nightfalls, like 3-man, or does it have to be that 4 to 6 stack?
It's relevant enough, but you don't truthfully get the experience. Yeah, you don't truthfully get the pinnacle of the Rat King experience unless you have 6.
I mean, I noticed it when we were doing Primeridian, and we're all on those plates together as a 3-man team. You literally mow down all those little ads and everything else. but we weren't using it for the boss. So
Now,
Twisted, I
Geek,
would say Rat Run on the GOS, but all those bosses, man, they're ranged.
if we could only get a divinity racking on Menagerie bosses,
Mm.
We can try it after this.
5-man racking, 1 divinity with an oppressive darkness debuff and a hunter tether.
I'm game.
You guys have like mad scientists. It's like it's always sunny Charlie brain going on in all your heads
pull a
right now.
CB and grab a tinfoil. I hadn't started wearing it.
There you go.
The conspiracy theories of damage buffs.
Right.
Angle of Death, I left you present in the GMD Geek
Oh
Discord.
God.
In general, should I be afraid to go look?
I think we should.
I'm gonna go look.
I can look and approve.
Jay, that cheesecake looks glorious.
It is indeed.
Where did you put?
Indeed.
It's worth it. It's worth
in the
it.
picture sharing.
Yeah.
Pictures of memes, huh?
The garbage man is right. Oh, okay.
Promote him really to garbage boss.
Can I zoom in on that? The garbage man is right. Promote him to garbage boss. Yeah. Well played, Twisted. Well played.
Well played, good sir.
Yes. Okay.
Awesome, guys. So we've been running a little bit long on the D2 talk tonight, which I think is totally fair, right? Some good times jokes there. Do we want to transition over to console wars as a topic?
We could touch on it real quick, I think.
Okay.
Want to bring those links up?
Yeah,
just real quick.
What I'm doing right now.
Otto, you want to post those links in chat too?
Hold on.
For reference?
Yeah. Oh my God, I could post in chat now.
I got
you could have been done it, but hey, that's how you get it done.
I got the most heartfelt comment from my better half just now, asking why everybody has cool things next to their names and she doesn't.
Oops.
From the verification and then Twitch Prime and the moderator stuff.
Right.
Hold on a second here. I thought I had it pulled up already.
Oh, I got you. Let me get you the links first, then, bro.
Yeah.
Check the DM.
Okay.
And you got number 2 coming too.
All right.
Moist. Appreciate you.
And there's number 2. Now let me get this shared real quick. Go to Zoom. Share screen. Wait. I gotta make sure I'm using the right one.
There's nothing like big J face or big me face when we. It's
smart delivery. Okay, here we go.
So the links are in chat too, if y'all would like to take a look at it as well.
So yeah, guys, just kind of like prefacing here, right? Obviously, the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, a lot of news that is going to continue to roll out. One of the features that we really wanted to talk more about today was smart delivery, something that Xbox led with, right, in some of their early kind of comments and statements, but in particular, right, I think is going to settle really nicely with gamers as we move into next gen.
Yeah, I think it's going to be huge because Microsoft has already come out and said, hey, we want it to be this way. We want, the smart delivery. For those that don't know what that is, if you buy a game on the Xbox One X and you want to be able to play it on the Xbox Series X, it's different code, different hardware. They've already said, guess what? You're going to get the upgrade for free. Not only are you going to get the upgrade for free, but you're going to carry over all your saved data. They don't say which games, but there's a lot of games that they're going to carry over. And this is because they've staged themselves with xCloud and cross-save, cross-play. They're really pushing hard for that one. Where, so Destiny's already come out and said, if you have everything here, like we all do for Destiny 2, like I do on the Xbox, I have everything on it.
Yep.
However, the new Beyond Light, I only bought that for Steam on PC. I'm still going to have to buy it for Xbox, but had I bought that on Xbox, it would have upgraded to Series X for free. They've already come out and said it.
Nice.
City Red came out and said that Cyberpunk 2077 will do the same thing. There's a slew of games. So you've got this really cool thing working forward for people. And this is why we're saying some console war stuff, where you come out to Sony, and they've come out and directly said there's no smart delivery-like solution on the PS5. It's going to be at the publisher's discretion. Bungie and
Geek, zoom in too, please.
Yeah, both Bungie and Cyberpunk 2077 said they will honor upgrades for the PS5. Now, that doesn't know if there's going to be any fees in there from the marketplace or anything like that from PS5. I don't know how that's going to work, but Sony's not adopting the smart delivery system, which I think they really should do. It shows that they care about their community more. And I'm a PS4 person. I will end up with all the consoles just because of who I am, but because of what I get for value, services, free, play upgrades, all that other stuff. Series X is going to be my first purchase, not a PS5.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, though, looking at the PS5 currently, I still got a few concerns with it, though.
Yeah. So, like, one of the things we wanted to talk
like
about,
the heating with it as well as the cooling.
This picture right here is definitely photoshopped. There's no questions about it. Someone was trying to make it look overly big. All this, it doesn't match up with the official the product photo placement that Sony released. You can tell that this is smaller. It's not that big. If it was that big, I might not be too concerned. But based on the 25 years of being an IT guy, working on routers, PCs, towers, servers, everything that you can throw out there, I have some very big thermal concerns about this
that's
box.
One thing that's
plus it's odd shape means, do I have to stand it on its edge? Am I going to be able to set it flat? Am I only going to be able to put it in one spot? It makes it a little bit more awkward because it's long, it's tall, and it's easy to knock over. I've got kids. Where the Series X, yes, it's a refrigerator as everyone calls it, but it's taking after like the NZXT H1 microcomputer, where they've actually taken and they've dropped in AIO liquid cooling, and they've dropped in a 2080 Ti card in that box and managed to properly still maintain air ventilation and cooling to run within decent temperatures. So I do have concerns over temperature for the PS5. It looks a little weird to me. I mean, it looks like a router. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Sony's, I think, and needs some wins coming up here too, especially, right? A lot of us have been Xbox players for a long period of time. I know, Geek, you do have a PlayStation. Angle, right, was looking at buying one recently here too. But right, it's with having an Xbox, with the smart content, with some of what's kind of coming out, right? Like, they're going to need some big wins here. And if it's not going to come on price or something like that too, it's got to come with the games and the exclusivity and, them showing that they value that kind of core gamer.
You just said exclusivity. There's a handful of games. That's it. And even then, some of those games, like Godfall, that's already slated to go to PC. There's another one, Ken something, that's already slated to go to Steam and to Switch. So some of these games that they showed at their Insight, which they did execute much better than Microsoft, I'm not going to lie, for showing gameplay, but they relied heavily on
not
exclusivity.
Just exclusives, though.
People are wanting to get away from that. People have lives. Angle hinted at it beginning of the podcast. He's busy. He's going around doing stuff all the time. How much if you can take one of these guys, drop your phone onto it, and play xCloud on the go. Destiny, by the way, which is what I've been doing on this.
Yep.
Why would I go and limit myself? If I have Destiny on the Xbox, I can play it on my phone on the xCloud. I can play it on my PC. I'm solid. Okay. Can't do that on the PS5. So Sony, I think, is stuck in the old mentality of pre-cloud, pre-games as a service. People are saying, okay, you want to charge us for games as a service? Give us all of the breadth of services for games as a service. Let me play it anywhere, anytime, any place, on the go, at home. I want to be able to play on my PC. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm going to switch to my chair. Let me go from my PC, swip over here to my Xbox, and play just like that.
Yep.
Or if I want to go from my PC, let me pause the game like they've done on TV talking about all the time. Go to my bedroom, turn my Xbox on in the bedroom, and play there. Just pick up right where I left off. So, I mean, Sony needs to realize They're doing what the Apple people did and really starting to price themselves out. And then you hear leaks like this where Xbox reveals some pretty crazy pricing stuff. None of it's confirmed yet, but the lock card, which is the cheaper version, the Series X, they're talking about some indications that box will be somewhere between $200, $250.
Yeah.
And the Series X will probably be somewhere between $400 and $500. And after all the talks and everything going on for the PS5 is estimated to be between somewhere between $600 and $700. So I think Microsoft is in a really unique situation because they have the capital to throw a ton of money at subsidizing those consoles.
Yeah.
To give themselves. I mean, if you release the Series X at $400, the price of the current consoles right now, well, actually, that's $100. All the consoles, if you go to Microsoft.com right now, are $300. Just FYI. But if $400, I mean, that's a hell of a system for $400, and be able to buy 2 of those for the price of one PS5.
Yeah.
And you don't have to deal with proprietary hard drive technology that could break and leave you out of a PlayStation for a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's something to
seriously consider.
It's something I'm going to look at for sure.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, yes, I own a PlayStation 4 as well, but see, that's one thing I was going to bring up too. When PC did their release for games, right? Mm-hmm. There's a game that's only been on the Vita for many years. Just Persona 4 Golden was the best-selling game on the Vita. It's also now playable on Steam.
Yep.
But it was an exclusive that long. And so can you really say everything's going to stay exclusive? Or can they see the opportunity now of, hey, a developer says, I can get my game over here as well, get this community involved in playing it?
Yeah, I mean, I come back to the conversation we've had a couple times where I think Microsoft has really looked at this really, really well, and Sony's dropped the ball on this one. You can no longer look at the console as the driving force for your game development studios. The studios have to be their separate entity, separate from the PS5 or the PlayStation. Has to be separate. If you limit your studios, you can only develop for this platform and that's it. You are limiting the reach of that game studio and hindering and hamstringing them so they can't hit the full market potential. If Sony said, hey, game studios, you guys can now make, design, and market your games to all platforms, how much bigger of an audience are they going to be able to hit?
Well, the forever question that I'm going to say it once, and I'll just keep saying it when they keep releasing the PS6. How long can Sony survive on fanboys and exclusive games?
I don't know.
Before they run out of money, people start realizing the Xbox has better technology, and it's just not worth it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably got to hit them enough to hurt, right? Now, at the same time, like, they are big enough where I wouldn't, like, they could probably take a stumble at the beginning of this new launch coming up here in the fall and recover in time.
Sony can't take that loss because they've been taking it with the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro because they were already undercutting price over amount that it took to actually build it. So how much longer can they survive on that theory of, okay, we're going to price our systems less than what it costs to make them to survive?
I hear you. I just think that, like, the decisions that they've made are already baked. Like, this is going like gold, and like they got to publish consoles and like get them out soon. Like, I feel like they're going to learn the hard lesson here and then have to change their attitude, right?
They invested all that money in that new proprietary hard drive. Love it. Fantastic. If it becomes a standard, that'd be even better. But as I said, they also, now that they've released that, they have to deal with the fact they've got a proprietary hardware piece in there that has to have support. They have to provide a means to quickly turn around someone buying a PS5. I invested for $6 or $7, how much ever it is, in a box. If I have it and 2 weeks later that hard drive fails, you better get me a replacement pretty dang quick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and it's not modular. One of the best things about computers versus consoles, if my RAM dies, I can go to the store up the street and buy myself some RAM and get myself up and running until I have a replacement part. If my processor dies, I can probably go buy a processor, have it here overnight. Any one of those things I can go swap out myself. The new Xbox Series X is still pretty modular based on the architect and everything else that they've showed to us. PS5 has not done that. Yeah. So there is a problem, a support problem. Microsoft, again, is in a better place. They have Microsoft stores. They have places you can take them in that are authorized to work on that stuff. They didn't let them themselves. That's not to say, and people are like, well, the speed on the PS5 is going to kill it. That's what it makes it. The Xbox Series X already says they queue 100 gigs of data during a game. 100 gigs. So you should be able to zone pretty freaking quick. Nothing to do with rewrite speed on that one. It'll be interesting to see where it goes when they both are finally on the market and we can put them head to head.
I mean, we can speculate too.
Yep.
As much as we want, but until we know more,
it'll be purely speculation.
Yeah. So, I mean, anything could change from this moment to when we actually hear something about it.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So, I mean, your opinion could flip if they actually surprise you with something.
Yeah, I'm not going to be. I mean, I have to wait to see what is actually released. I mean, we're speculating, we're talking. I said we have to wait to see when they're on the market, when they're released, what the actual ins and outs are. It's just going to be.
Yeah. So once we actually get some more info, then I think we read into it, see what's up with it, come back to it, see how we're feeling compared to where we were the first time we were talking about it.
Yeah.
I would also love to get some real hands-on experience with it as well.
Same.
That they did say that they're releasing some PlayStation 5s for beta testing if you sign up and get approved. So, I mean...
Yeah, there you go, Angle.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, sorry, you guys sent me a white brick. It doesn't really do anything.
What's the password to connect my phone to it?
Cubic zirconium.
Is this the new my Wi-Fi router? It's not working.
I plugged it in and it didn't work. I'm sorry.
All right, guys. Well, any final thoughts on console debate for tonight? Obviously, more to come.
Yeah, when more info stuff comes out, we'll have more to talk about it then.
Yeah, it's going to be dependent upon that.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, let's transition here. Right, for everybody in chat, right? Guys, we also like to talk some streaming elements. We're new to streaming ourselves. We want to kind of pass along things we learned, things that we found good, hear from you guys what you guys like from the streaming side as well. I think 2 topics in particular for tonight is talking a little bit about OBS and some of Elgato's new mics that they are releasing.
Yeah, so let's just go in a little bit of reverse order so I can close things down. So Hellas Heller did a video on this one the other day. Great channel on streaming and how to get better and all that other stuff. And the reason we're bringing this up, we get asked quite a bit. I've noticed that CB gets asked quite a bit. Mesa gets asked. We get asked. I get asked all the time. Streaming and quality and bit rates and audio and everything. I do have a Wave 3 ordered. I can't wait for it to get here to try it out. This is an all-in-one solution. It's got like the Go LXR mixer condenser board mixed into it, seamless integration into a Stream Deck. If you have a Stream Deck, and if you guys remember past podcast, Jay and I went into some pretty good detail on our Stream Decks. I love those things. They're fantastic. This is going to give a lot of options to the startup streamer that wants solid audio quality like this Blue Yeti, but have mixer quality that you can get that you didn't normally have. Why is this not letting me
and to jump in here to elaborate a little bit more, there are currently, I think, 2 models. The Wave, which is $129 US, the Wave 3 is $160.
Correct.
And right, like Geek, the value prop that you mentioned is something that caught my attention. As you guys could see, right, like I don't have a professional mic. I'm using a Jabra headset I have for work, right? But as I think about investing in my own streaming setup, right, this is something that appeals to me because of that value prop, quality, but also accessibility and software. Software is one of the things that really caught my attention.
I mean, it's upgradable. In the future. So I mean,
what they don't have right now is they don't have the gain and the noise gate and stuff. You could still do that in your OBS, which is perfectly fine. But they are talking about adding it. So eventually, at some point, you're going to have those VTS plugins to do noise gates and compressor simulations and everything. But what the Wavelength software, which is have up on the screen right now for it, does is gives you like a mixer board control. You can split out your audio sources. You can split out your game from your music, from your Discord, from your desktop and everything. I can't wait to try it out because I've always been wanting to do that. I just haven't wanted to spend the $500 on the Go LXR, the big one, and then a microphone to go with it, which is a Blue Ember or like the Blue Ember, which is a dynamic mic. It's like $100, or you can get a Shure 7, whatever that is. I think those are like $300 or $400, or some of the Roadcasters, which are anywhere from $150 to $200. Well, for $160, I'm not even going to talk about the Wave 1. The Wave 1's $129. It doesn't have a mute button. It doesn't have some of the audio functions.
It does have a mute button, though.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Okay.
It does.
I don't remember all the differences, but I do remember when I was reading about him and watching Harris Teller's review on it for $20 more, $129.
Can we get that link in chat?
Yeah. Here's the Wave 3.
Yeah, I got him right here too.
Nice. Appreciate it.
That I'm just going to spend the extra $20 or $30 and get the extra bells and whistles. I mean, $30. This stand, my boom arm, and just the shock mount here and my microphone, your Blue Yeti, you're looking at $130 already. And that doesn't come with the mixer software or anything like that. I have to get really creative inside of OBS. So being able to get this and see how that works, if that works, I'm good. I'm not going to even worry about it because I'll get software down the road. As they're upgrading the software, my mic all of a sudden gets upgraded itself. So it's a win-win, and I don't have to have all the hardware taking up desktop space.
Can I ask one clarifying question too for like the novice and me? Are you saying like the software here could replace OBS entirely?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
But for mic settings, yes.
So,
but for the streaming purposes of OBS, no.
Yeah. So what you'll end up doing inside here, I'll pull this. I'll pull this over real quick. So, I'm gonna have to share that one, aren't I? I'm gonna have to share. Let me stop sharing this so you guys can see it.
You're sharing OBS. It looks like.
Yeah, it's on your screen.
Share.
There's my beautiful face.
Yes.
Another lovely close up of Otto.
Okay, so I'm just going to share.
Right, cool.
Wait, nope, not that screen.
Oh.
I shared the wrong screen here. Here it is. Okay, so OBS. Right now, I have a Blue Yeti, a desktop audio, which is cranked all the way down. So if I wanted to play like a YouTube trailer or something, I would have to turn this audio setting up so everyone could hear it. And then I have the Discord in the headset. Instead of there being the 3 audio mixer sources, I would come into settings, and I would go to audio, and I would change this from desktop audio and desktop audio 2 and everything. And I would have the microphone for the Wave 3 as the audio as the microphone source, but I would only have one audio source itself, and then I would use the mixer software to do all the controls for my Discord headset. My desktop gaming sounds, my music and everything. And then the cool thing is, because it's created by Elgato. Oh, great. Did I just hose my system by sharing that? Gotta stop sharing. But
are you talking about the Stream Deck, the apps on it? Is that what you're mentioning?
Yep.
Yeah. So the Wavelength app that comes with that, right, essentially is allowing you multiple things on the Stream Decks. So the Stream Decks, obviously, you have the hardware that you can purchase. You can also use your cell phone through the app and pay the $3 a month for that.
Yep.
But there are hotkeys, right? Like you can. The notes I took, right, because like this is super relevant stuff to me, right? Like I could use my phone. I can get a mic. I'm in business.
See, so for you, this would be really, really good because you can get a quality headset that plugs in, like on these ones on the Blue Yetis, there's a port on the bottom for a headset. You can do the same thing for yours. You're already corded. You don't have a wireless headset. So you could get rid of this boom arm off of your thing, pick up a ton of quality and ton of control, and just use earbuds, wired earbuds. Like if you have,
iPhone earbuds. Yep.
Yep. So, I mean, it's one of those really, really kind of cool things. I can't wait to get it. And then I'll break it down, do a thing. I'll even do a review because I guarantee as soon as I get it set up, you'll probably see this go away, and that come into play.
Yeah, because he did do a sound test too between like the X for blue and what was that?
I don't remember what that red one was. He did a couple different comparisons.
But the sound difference, the sound quality between them, it's a lot different.
Yeah. The Wave 3 is almost on the same par as his when he's running with his Blue Ember setup on the Go XLR mixer. It's pretty dang good. And for everyday streamers that don't have a ton of money, being able to get all that, get a microphone. Like, okay, so Harris Heller is set up, and a lot of these pro streamers run with the Go XR. You got we'll just say with a $100 microphone, you got a $500 mixer board, and those do get more expensive. So that's $600. Okay, just for the mixer and for a microphone. Or you could pay $160. Now that doesn't include the shock mount, that doesn't include the boom arm or anything like that. You'll still have to get that stuff. But
you're still saving yourself.
You're still saving
$440. Like
and for 90% of us, I think that's going to be just fine. And I'll be honest to goodness truth, because I have it on a watch list right now. As soon as the Go XR becomes available, I was going to order it. If that comes here and I'm going to test that out, I probably might just cancel. I don't need all that, because the other part of me, I like to have a clean desktop.
Mm-hmm.
That means everything's right here or on my desktop computer digitally. I don't have to have
instead of having another hardware sitting here and there and there.
Now, I do have the Stream Deck, which is perfectly fine because I love having all the buttons. And if I was to show you guys, I have 2 profiles and a couple subfolders set up. I probably have 40 hot buttons set up right now, maybe 45. It's fantastic.
Nice.
And I have a third profile for work. It pops up terminal windows for me, Linux windows for me. It runs certain command scripts for me. I have taken this thing and I love it to death. Many, many uses outside of streaming, outside of gaming. Fantastic little device. Well worth. When my wife saw everything I was doing with it, she realized that the $250 I spent on that Stream Deck, fantastic. But I think the Elgato nailed it again with this one. They've got the support from Corsair behind them. So this is the first product they brought out. It's been in development for a long time. And they've even been consulting with people like Harris Heller. Another stream guy, I can't remember his name, that specifically focused on audio. So for those curious about it, those should be pretty dang awesome.
If you really think about it, especially for you geek as a neat freak, you only need 3 things on your desk: keyboard, mouse, and then you have your Stream Deck. Besides your Red Bull, and you have your Stream Deck. You don't need a mixer. You don't need your mic stands. Nothing.
3.5 for geek.
Just the one mic stand, and you'll have your mixer software, and you'll be perfectly fine. And it'll just be a simpler way to set things up.
Yep. And
especially with a cleaner look.
And apparently their pop filter's pretty dang good. They put some thought into that one too. It's not just a screen. It's got some angles to it that help deflect the wind out and everything. So I'm pretty looking forward to.
Pun definitely intended there.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, Otto.
Yeah, no problem. There were 2 things that I just wanted to ask. There are things that I know less about. So if this is nonsense, cut me off here. But
no, he is not. He gets stuff, but he was not sponsored by them to make the video. I'm going to clarify that real quick. He was not sponsored by Elgato. He gets stuff from them, but he's not sponsored. His videos, every time he does a review, it's not a sponsored review. He doesn't spin it on that. He gives it to you how it is.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
straight up.
Watch the video. I'm not, I don't have the full setup, but he literally shows you how the software works. For me, honestly, the software is what sold me. And I was like, oh, that is a feature that I could quickly flip on to test what my audience would be hearing, right? The ease of use behind that to me would be valuable, and little features that Harris really shows there. But he did mention there was no VST support currently. Correct. Is that a problem?
Okay, so VST is, I actually brought that up just a minute ago. VST would be your noise gate, your compressor, your equalizer kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
But he did say in that video, and if you go to the Elgato site, they are in development, and those will release in a future software update to the software on the computer. So instead of having to worry about upgrading your microphone or upgrading your hardware, then you're good. Now, that's not going to say that everybody out there, this is a one-stop solution for everybody. There are some people out there with 2 gaming systems and multiple stream stuff and a lot of hardware. They might be musicians and all that, where a physical mixer board is going to make more sense. For us gamers that are streaming, I can't see anything unless you really want to have some extra money beating this
well, you could just call, like Harris said, the Go XLR just the premium one.
Mm-hmm.
If you had the money and you wanted to spend it on it, then yeah, you could.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see what that does. And like after I finish testing it, one of the things I'm going to present to my boss at work is I'm actually going to say, hey, dude, because this has been a problem we've been having since the COVID and everyone's doing the work from home thing and all that other stuff. We're looking for better microphones. We're looking for better audio options. If that provides it, that's a cheap solution that businesses can latch onto. So I don't know how. I don't.
Hey, Otto, I hear another work expense in your future.
That's a good point, though. And actually, I mean, Keek, you're right, though, because like even this like Jabra headset, right, probably cost the company $300.
Yeah.
And we're talking a price point of 160 plus headphones. Like, yeah, you can come underneath that.
And then if Elgato gets to that point where it's popular enough, they could release like a Wave 4 or Wave 5 with Bluetooth support for audio headphones. So all of a sudden you cut that tether.
Yep.
You never know. You just never know. But you might not even have to, because when I was watching some advanced videos on it, people were using these and not even having to tether to it. The only reason you would tether to it is so you can get the what's called monitor. So you can actually go in and hear what everyone else is hearing on your stream.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I'd be very interested in that one. There's a lot of stuff. Again, I'm really excited once it ships. It hasn't shipped yet. I luckily got in before it went out of stock.
Sold out.
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one.
Nice. We'll have to definitely tap you once you get that. I'm eager to hear more.
Yeah. The other thing we've been getting asked quite a bit about, like Vegeta was asking, because he's got a 2700X, and we're getting a lot of people asking, can I stream at the same time on this PC? And the question is, depending on the PC, yes, you can. And what's the cost to get into a game system like that, a gaming system that streams as well? And if you just want to game, go with Intel, go with the i9, that's fine. For about $1,000, though, you can get a 3300X with the new B550 motherboard and really knock it out of the park. I have a whole bunch of graphics I was going to show, but we're running a little bit late. But the bottom line is, like, Nexus Gamers were doing a live stream before we got on here today, and they were liquid nitrogen cooling a 3300X. They overclocked it to 5,000 hertz, which is fantastic. And they found issues with some crisis stuff and everything, but the bottom line is that 3300X is going to meet all your requirements to game and stream. You want to go with the B550 motherboard because that gives you the PC Gen 4. Now, it's only one channel that's doing that because, it's the lower end. If you still want to get all PCI 4 across the board, you can go an X550 or 570 motherboard, but that's going to be a lot more expensive. The B550 is going to meet it. You can get the 3300X with the B550 motherboard for around $300 to $310. The one I priced out, Otto, that we were talking about last night, that motherboard's $200, but that lets you have 2 PCI 4 M2s, lets you have your up to a 2080 Ti card in there, full bandwidth. It'll even support up to the new leaked 3080 and 3090 NVIDIA cards. So it's a great motherboard. It's going to be supported for a couple of years. You're not going to have a problem with upgrades. It supports up to 64 gigs of RAM. You've got leeway, but for about $1,000, you can build a system that games and streams all in one. It's no longer is the day everyone's like, well, I've got a gaming system and a streaming system. Gone is that day. Those are gone. It's not needed anymore. With hardware it's at, you can simplify and just go there. Because the AMD stuff,
you say.
Okay, so $120 for the 3300X. You got to wait for it to come into stock. $180 to $200 for the motherboard. They have a new this is the one thing that we Otto and Jay and I were in a call. We were on Xbox last night, and I got a call from the guy that I'm getting stuff from a supplier. He asked for the 16 gigs of RAM. Did I want 3600 RAM or do I want 4000 RAM? And I went and Googled it today and watched a couple things on it. That 4000 RAM isn't a huge performance increase over the 3600, but it's about a 4%. So all of a sudden you've got this new system that's able to support 4000 hertz RAM. That's only like 20 or 30 bucks more for the 16 gigs. But you still have that option. You go 3200, 3600, or 4000 hertz RAM. It's not going to really, to most of us out there, it's going to be a nominal difference. We're really not going to notice it unless you're pushing it to its limits. And to turn on Destiny and to turn on streaming isn't going to push it to its limits. So I think it's pretty cool what they've brought out. Yeah. AMD, I think, is where Intel really did. They got out that 10th gen stuff, and they did win in some of the gaming performance. A single focus, single task focus. I am going to game, and I'm going to game extremely, extremely well. Fantastic. Go do it. Me, I like to do multiple things. AMD just kicked the crap out of Intel. Just literally. And after watching that, watching a video Jay's 2 cents put out, a whole bunch of tech reading and everything, I'm really looking forward to it. For about $1,000, man, you can have an M2 1 gig, an M2 4th gen 1 terabyte drive, 16 gigs of RAM, 3300X processor, the new motherboard series, the B550 motherboards. You can run all of that stuff, put a 2070 supercard on it, and only need a 650 watt power supply, where at max load, you're looking at that system is going to draw somewhere between 500 and 540, leaving you 100 watts of free use. You can go bigger on the power supply if you want to, but you don't have to. The other cool thing about the 3300X, because they've done the temperature test, it comes with air cool, so you don't have to put liquid cool on it if you don't want to. That's something you don't have to mess with. So I think the most
flexing on the hardware talk here.
I think I think the most expensive part is going to be, honestly, your Microsoft Windows license.
The 2070 Super is not going to be cheaper than.
Yeah, no. Well, we don't know that. We honestly don't know. With NVIDIA talking about releasing their 3000 series the end of the year, we're going to see a drop in the 2000 series cards, and it's not going to be like it was a couple of years ago when they released the 2080 Ti's, and everyone was, I got to go do some coin mining. I get myself a whole bunch of the freaking GPUs so I can set up a coin mine farm and all this other stuff. That's kind of died down, and they don't really need all that. So now all of a sudden, I bet you see, I do think you're going to see anywhere from a $50 to $100 drop in those 2070s. I bet you'll be able to pick up a 2070 Super for somewhere between $350 to $400. Twisted, yeah. Home is $110 or $100 for the transferable ones, and then Windows Pro is $120. I always recommend getting the Pro. You get more services and some functionality out of it. But if you do go online, there's some places you can pick up the Windows licenses for like $20. People ask me what the difference is all the time. Those $20 ones, those are tied, one-time install use. Those are meant for enterprise things where they have a release server for the licensing. You can release it and renew it and apply it. You can't. So if your PC dies, you have to get on the phone with Microsoft. You have to go through a lot of talking most of the time with them, and to have them reset it so you can install on new hardware. The $100 to $120 license lets you just freely lift and shift. So that's just something to keep in mind.
That's good.
Yeah. The only other thing I want to talk on real quick, I'm going to bring this back over. I'm not going to bother sharing it with a screen share it. Just bring it over to the monitor. Everyone can see. One of the other questions we get asked inside of our settings is about the video and scaling. This came up a couple times. We were with Vegeta the other night. He was the last person to ask me about it. I've probably been asked this a dozen times in the last 2 weeks. For a lot of people, they're like I game at 1440 and I stream at 1080. Now you can see here my base canvas. I have it set to 1080 and I outscale, or my output is at 1080 as well. I don't worry about any of that stuff. I still play at 1440, but everything I do inside of OBS is at 1080. I don't care. I let it all do it there. And I don't use in the stream output, I don't have it set to rescale. I'm not using my GPU to do the NVENC rescaling or anything. So if I wanted to stream at 1080 or
can you zoom in?
I don't know if this is going to let me zoom in. No, it will not
Yeah,
let me zoom
it's
in.
going to be tough.
Let me see if the control will let me actually zoom in that way. The plus.
Good
No,
screenshot zoom in.
OBS won't let me do that. But I'll post it. Some screenshots.
You can take a
for
screenshot,
everybody.
yeah.
Oh.
It's not the most glamorous, but maybe it would help the talking point. But
Yeah.
if not, we just move on.
Yep. We're not gonna worry about it. I'll post screenshots in the Discord with the zoom ins. But going back to the video, is the downscaler. One of the questions I had was there's I can't do the drop down on this one, but the question was, why did I choose biqubit over Landscos? If you guys have ever taken a picture on your phone and you've gone into the editing and you've seen where you have an option to sharpen the image quality of your picture, this is where this is happening. And this biqubit versus Landscos essentially is one. Biqubit is doing the medium groundwork, and I'm always saying the Landscos one is doing 16-bit versus 32. One is a lot more sharp than the other. However, if you have a medium grade GPU, you're putting more load on that GPU, and if you use the GPU also to do your scaling. So in this case, I'm taking the resources and I'm just saying I'm going to meet them in the middle. That's what I recommend for a lot of streamers. Give yourself a clearer picture. If you go with the bilinear, which is your first default, I think, option, it's a little bit more blurred, a little bit more muddled. The details are not as clear. Like if you're looking, it's just the background blurs up more fast, gets more muddled. The biqubit gives you a little more color sampling, gives you a clearer picture, and the LANUCOZ, I believe it's the spelling, gives you much more clear, but sometimes can be over clear. So I found for everything I'm doing, the biqubit does a fantastic job of providing quality without taxing the system. And then one of the other things they're talking about with the new 3000 series is using this rescale output. If you play at 1440 and you put out at 1080, is actually going to use those new cards and let them make the decision on the fly in the back end. So we'll see how that plays out. But that's for those people that get the new 3080s. I don't think everyone's going to jump on that bandwagon right away. But I was proven wrong when the 2080s came out because they sold out quick too. But those are the big ones because people are trying really hard to get a quality stream. And they're all saying, my hardware's too old. I can't do it. I can tell you right now, using a 1060 Ti card, 16 gigs of RAM, and an i7 processor, you can stream endgame Destiny 2 at 120 frames per second. The other thing is to remember too is if you're going NVENC and you're using your GPU to do your rescaling or descale, whatever you want to call it, for your output, you will see a drop in your game FPS. So your frames per second inside the game Destiny, you'll probably see a drop from like 120 down to like 80 or 90. Whereas if you were doing this through OBS and you set up your canvas correctly and you're telling it what to do so it doesn't have to think about it, it doesn't flex, it doesn't do all the deviations, it's all right there. You're gonna have an overall better FPS performance in the game that you're playing. The other thing to keep in mind, whenever you use OBS, launch it as admin. Tells it to take priority. That way, is your gameplay. The computer is, if you just launch OBS as a regular user account, the game as a regular user account, the game is going to take priority on the resources because you're actively playing it, and OBS is more of a background source. Make sure you launch it as an admin every time. But that takes us to 10 o'clock. I had a lot more for that one, but questions? And hardware. If you go Google the prices right now for the 3300X or the motherboards, you're going to go to Amazon. Do not go to Amazon for pricing right now. They have, dear Lord, price scalpers. I don't hate Intel. I got an Intel box right next to Teletran 1.
But he's not using it.
I just don't use it because it doesn't meet my requirements. And I wouldn't do
Geek's
a truffle.
got pretty high standards, Twisted. You should know this.
Wait. I wouldn't do a truffle shuffle for an Intel. I would do a truffle shuffle for an AMD, not for an Intel. Just saying.
So second round of promotion for
I'm not a cheap
the truffle shuffle.
I am not a cheap date.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so AMD right now or Amazon right now has a really bad problem with price scalpers, webcams, flipping Elgato stuff. All these people, something that's normally like $100-$150 being turned around and sold for $400 or $500. Amazon really has to do something about that. If you go to Micro Center, if you go to Newegg, if you go to Best Buy, places like that, they're going to show out of stock, but you can get on a pre-order list. That's going to show you the proper pricing. The AMD 3300X is $120. AMD came out and said this. Everyone else, their price is $120. If you see it listed somewhere for $250, you are paying way too much. You could have gotten two of them. The B550 motherboards, low end is $130 to higher end of around $250. If you're paying like $400 or $500 for one, you're getting screwed. If you're going to pay $400 or $500 on a motherboard, go Google AMD X570 and get a really good motherboard for that price. The whole reason that AMD brought out the 3300 Series X and the B550 motherboards was for a mid-level, very economical solution for most homes.
The best seller on Amazon right now is $273 for the 3300X.
That's way too much. I'm like, I was on Micro Center site earlier chatting with them, and they told me they're like about 4 weeks lead, but they're selling them for $120 plus tax. The guy I was talking to last night, his turnaround time is somewhere between 3 to 5 weeks before I have the 3300s. I'm getting 3 3300s and a motherboard sent to my house. So, nice. I mean, I'm not going to overpay. The whole reason, if you can wait, be patient and get them. Just wait. You know, this whole COVID thing screwed the whole market up. So, you know, the new i10s are going to be beastly. But I'm going to come back and say this one, that's true. But Intel is releasing new chips in Q1 of 2021. What are those going to do to compare to the Intels? They've been fairly tight-lipped on what that architect is, other than the fact that they've reduced the size of the cores and implemented new bus technology on one of it. So I don't know. I really don't know. At the end of the day, I'm a multitasking, multifunction person. AMD just makes more sense to me. But if you're just a gamer, then Intel away.
Nice.
And then I'm very curious, Jay, did you already do the pinouts from your case to the motherboard?
On that one? Yeah. That's out there?
Mm-hmm. See, I'm giving Jay major kudos. When I met Jay, he didn't know anything about computers at all. And over the last year, he's learned, and now he's building.
I've just got to put in the SATA stuff. I've got to finish plugging in the fan because, you know, it came with their essentially Commander Pro thing on the back of it.
Right.
I've got to add. And then the extra fan that we got. And I've got to make Sunshine put in the PSU since I'm glad you're here because that's what you get to do.
Yeah. So who shocks himself the most? I'm really excited to see how it turns out. This is his first PC build. I think it's going to be great. It's a good learning experience. I recommend it for anybody out there to go build your own.
I did go 570 though with it.
Yeah. So
I was told not to touch it while it's being built.
Don't touch.
It's probably got all kind of fingerprints all over it now.
Drool marks and everything.
Oh my God, Twisted. Just make sure you're in the bathtub when you build it and plug it in. Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that because that's a great idea.
Awesome. All right, guys. So I know we're running long over 2 hours here. Did we want to touch on any Star Wars Squadron or any other games from EA Plays this week, or is that for a future topic? What are you guys thinking?
I say we save it so we can get a little bit more time.
Yeah, because I mean, who knows? Something else may come about it this week, and we may see
100%
something.
true.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Cool. Well, any other final notes, thoughts that we want to rattle off here for chat?
Don't be in the bathtub when you plug in a PC.
Oh, that's fair. Awesome, guys. Well, I think it sounds like we're gonna wrap here somewhat. Yep. But ultimately, right, everybody, thank you so much for staying so long. Another 2-hour plus long show here, but right, in general, for everybody, thank you so much for sticking through the whole show. Get feedback our way if there's any games that are coming out, any thoughts on Destiny or whatever else you've been playing, let us know. Geek, Angle, Jay, any final kind of questions, thoughts for chat before we look to wrap up?
If you need help with dungeon or anything in Destiny while we're active, I'll be on PC or on
Xbox.
Xbox occasionally. The only thing I don't do on Xbox is actually GOS. For some reason, the lag kills me on the Xbox.
And PvP, you don't do PvP on the Xbox.
Actually, I'm
I'm
running trials with Vegeta on the Xbox. Believe it or not.
Hey man, I play on Xbox. I'll help too.
Vegeta, I feel sorry for.
We don't. We're going to enjoy this.
Should be an
interesting I want it to be streamed.
This is
this is going to be trials. This is geek,
nice.
geek. Dead. Dead. Oh nope.
Oh come on! You could just throw like a auto rifle.
He's going to throw the match. Is that what you're saying?
I'm going to try not to.
Right.
Geek, just shoulder charge, and that's all you got to do. Just shoulder charge your way through trial.
Wither horde all over the place. Just belch all the way around, and then build myself a safety like a moat, and then get shot by a sniper.
Otto, there's you a question.
Yeah, Dreamy.
Xbox?
Could I get some people to do Gambit at a later time? Yeah, you know me, Dreamy. I'm happy to play some Gambit. I will throw on that full Invader set and Truth and be as toxic as possible in Gambit Prime. Absolutely.
You invade with Truth? What kind of
yes, he does.
are you?
I love him.
Dude, I hit 94 motes taken away from a team the other day. Like, think about that. It's almost a full bar in Gambit Prime.
So
I pray for your sanity if you ever come against me in Gambit Prime.
I did. You guys would be proud. I did Gambit Prime earlier today in my Hunter, right? Because I wanted to knock that out. And I didn't take the Truth in. I had a Bad Omens with tracking and cluster on it.
Nice.
And the Weather Horde. And I went in there, dropped the Weather Horde on him, and dropped a rocket in. I got 4 people, dude. 4. I was so happy.
You want to hear something stupid, Geek? Before we go, you know how we were talking last podcast about Wither Horde and people not realizing how easy it is to escape? So during the damage phase of Gambit Prime, the thing pops up on the ground. I invaded, shot it dead center. Nobody moved because they thought it was where they were supposed to stand for the damage phase. Then they're like, why are we all getting damaged? And then they killed. I was just an instant all for 1 medal because they just stood there.
Beautiful.
That's
beautiful.
It's fast.
That's a
moment. Fast ticking damage, man. It's fast.
I mean, in a damage phase, you're getting shot by other stuff. Like you take damage in Gambit. That's. Oh yeah.
The other thing is too that people didn't realize. And I didn't realize until I watched a couple of videos on it today. I don't really watch a lot of MTash stuff, but it came through a feed. Then I watched a couple other videos on it. Drop the blight on the ground and then tag the person, and you get a double stack on that person. And I was just like, mind blown.
As long as you can get those 2 shots off fast enough.
Yeah, but if you get the auto-loading holster, drop the Wither Horde on the ground, get a rocket in there, turn around, have it reloaded, boom, drop another one on somebody. Problem is going to be real. It's going to be something to mess with. Anyways.
So yeah, Dreamy, we'll do some Gambit. We're bloodthirsty heathens. We'll get in there and invade.
Bloodthirsty heathens.
I don't know. It's been a long week. That was. I won't repeat that again. Yeah.
He's like, nah, I don't want to say that again.
I'm a Viking.
Awesome. Well, I'm Autonomy. You can find me mostly on Twitter right now. It's AUT0NOMY. Angle, you want to go next?
I am Angle of Death 392. You can find me there at almost everything Twisted, because I know you're going to send me something stupid again.
Interesting. Almost everything.
What do you got, Jay?
Almost everything.
Pro strat. All right, you can find me on Sake of Jay. Actually, I am on LinkedIn too, bro. Got you.
Okay.
But you can find me on,
Twisted.
you can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Discord.
And I'm Jim D Geek. You can find me on Twitch mainly, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, GMD Geek. Always out there, always helping to fun. And here on Press What to Join. Appreciate you guys' time. Remember to hit that like button. It does help us out quite a bit for the follow. We're trying to grow. And hit our Discord. We're always looking for feedback and anything we can do to improve on the show and on our content. Anything we're doing that you think we guys need to do better at, whether it be body language, speaking, sharing, presentations, more guests, less guests, or anything else like that. Do we get sidetracked too much? Whatever. Do we not do enough yeets? Just let us know. We appreciate
Spam
you guys.
Geeks inbox with Truffle Shuffle comments. That's all you have to do.
That and y'all eat in the same sentence to Geek.
Yeah. Let's not
And
do that.
booted.
Yeah. Anyways, we much love to everybody. We greatly appreciate it. And until next time, don't let your ghost get shot, and we'll see y'all later.
Later.